brand new stream on YouTube. Hit the like now, then hit it again on the new stream. But for everybody here on the Midday Show, big shout out to all the viewers out there and to Bears vs. Bulls.
Yes, always killing it. Killing it.
Always absolutely killing it. Shout out to Fahad, who had a great idea there on FRC, who was initially short at $11.20. It's now at $9.
Oh, wow.
So we're short as well. But all right, let's wrap this thing up and go to the big desk. I'll go grab a drink of water and join them. It's time for the closing show.
Welcome in, 2 o'clock on what's turning into pretty red afternoon once again as we head back to the downside. FRC rekindling some pretty ugly banking thoughts. To the downside we go to the tune of 40+%. I'll show you in a sec individually, but that is how the overall market is shaping up here as we head towards 4 o'clock. 1.36 right now for the S&P, a full percent for the Dow, 1.5. The NASDAQ is leading the way. 1.14 for the TSX here in Toronto, about 1.3 there for Brazil. 2.25, crude oil basically at session lows here as well, with just about 30 minutes left in the pit session in Chicago today. We're chopping around here. Bitcoin and Ethereum not really doing a heck of a lot. All about this headline. Bloomberg, the first to come out with this. First Republic exploring up to 100 billion in asset sales. That can't be good. That's had all of these regional banks, smaller ones, to the downside in a big way. It's obviously FRC that leads here, 43% currently. KeyBank down 6, CMA, Zion, to name a few, FITB, TFC, even USB, all just getting crushed here this afternoon within the individual banking group. Financial services as well, MSCI and NTRS, 9 and 10%. There are a few still hanging out in positive territory, but few and far between, to say the least, as far as positive names. Down here as well, tech shares getting crushed this afternoon. 5% for Intuit, now about 4.8%. It's software names that are leading, though, as far as decliners are concerned. ON down 5, though. In the semi group as well, 3.5 there for AMD. Hardware names also under pressure. But, I mean, it almost looks blackish or dark gray even as far as the negativity is concerned. And that's simply because this one is standing out so much on this board. A few things of note to the upside. We'll get into this a little bit further, but Pepsi still enjoying 2% to the upside. SJM, CPB as well, all in positive territory. So there are a few individual areas of the market that are in positive territory. I wanted to touch on this overall story a little bit more before we get into it. These were the headlines that came out and are actually still coming through here for First Republic. Exploring strategic options going to be very challenging, according to Fitch, when it comes to FRC. So essentially saying, I mean, they're going to have to try and sell some stuff, but are they going to be able to sell some stuff is an entirely different story here. So regional banks lead, FRC specifically. Downside in a big way here, guys, this afternoon.
I love how absolutely perfectly concise that was. They're trying to sell some stuff, but it could be a challenge.
Well, they got to sell the desks, you know, like what Elon did. You got to go in there, you got to sell the sink and everything. It's
Get rid of those expensive coffee machines that they have at First Republic. It's all jokes aside. It's obviously pretty ugly, and it sucks for anybody that might be still holding on to these shares. It's just been absolutely nasty. You saw what happened to Fahad. And quite frankly, okay, look, all I did is yell out what the news was. I read it, I put it into the chat, but I was in the stock too. And I actually had that scalp trade in there pretty much into that 11.5 and then out to that low of the day at 11.20. However, it was like when it broke 11.20, getting in after the break of 11.20 was near impossible. I got some shorts off the bottom. I'm now out of it, but it's still flushing to the downside and taking the market with it. All we got is 4,100 on the ES. The NASDAQ is through everything. So I mean, I don't know. I can zoom further out to see where we're going on the NASDAQ. But FRC, I don't know where this is going to bounce today. But when it couldn't reclaim 10, I'm looking to rejoin it in there. I did miss my one chance. I had one long on FRC on an uphold. And quite frankly, that's enough. I don't know if I'll be chasing any longs on bottoms here. Maybe that's like a tomorrow thing. If it's, well, we'll see what happens. Anything can happen overnight, but it could make some bottoms today. I'm not going to be betting on it. It couldn't even recover. After that halt down, you would have thought it could have got back to 10 even. Now it's just dead. And by the way, PAC-W, I was in PAC-W. This is why you always have stops, people. because when that news dropped on PAC-W, I had my stop underneath 1080, my stop triggered, and in 2 candles, that was down at 1020. It was just that simple. Always trade with a stop. So I would have been out news or no news. But thankfully, I did have a stop order underneath. Otherwise, that could have been pretty ugly.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Yeah, we're back. And yeah, we are short right now, FRC. So FRC right now, we talked about that. If you guys were watching me during the midday show, I made a couple trades, needless to say, on that. And there's our last one right now. FRC is going to actually be my #1 stock today traded. So yeah, it was a good one here. We're not using a whole bunch of shares, so it's not like you know, we're lighting the lamp here or anything like that. But it's a nice move there for FRC. Down now, breaking through 9. 9 was sort of an area there. I feel like we could get out if it does break back above $9 right here, but I mean, I don't know if using the minute chart is really appropriate. That $10, I mean, just because of the move, right? I mean, if you got out every time it spiked up, you wouldn't be in right now. That's $10. That might be the cleanest out, but I haven't taken $1 on any of these trades. So right now, we're in this short. It is breaking down lower. There's our short. We have the bottom of the day as well on that reopen. So we have 833 or 838, whatever that fill was, off of this little baby short of 9. So that was 70 cents there. Then we lost it when it halted back to the upside. That was about 50 cents. So still making us net positive. Then we took a short at 970, giving it to 10. Then we got a piece out at 31, and then we just broke down below again, putting us $1 in the money right here on FRC. So let's just stay with it, man. I mean, I honestly, I feel like if we break above this 940, 950 area, that could be a spot to get out, but I'm going to use $10 as my out. The stop is already in there. If we break above, I'm actually going to get stopped out at 981 right there. That was the previous stop. So if it breaks through 981, we have to give it all back. That's what we're going to do. Let's see where FRC goes from here, man. And then just in case you were wondering about other failed banks right now, SIVB, Silicon Valley still getting hit today. Pretty good, man. Despite the volume only being 1.6 million. And, you know, obviously there's not too much trading there on the OTC markets. Surprise. Not when this is happening, though. We have PAC-B tomorrow, FRC today. So leaving this stock alone, but still down 19%. And then there's PAC-W right here. The NASDAQ name, this is down, what, 20 as well? I thought it was 9. So this name, going to see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, all good, man. It's been a good day to trade, and I think it's only going to get better.
There's a serious question from the chat here.
I'm ready.
Randy Stocks in the chat, and I'm hoping that name is a joke.
Could also be Randy as well. Right?
Is FRC a good long-term?
Yes, it's one of the best ones you could have.
Legitimate question.
No, I don't.
I would put that somewhere between Silvergate and Context Logic.
I would put that somewhere between no and no.
Well, you're saying you can't own Context Logic?
Can you? What is it, 12 cents?
No, they reverse
or
split.
Do you wish?
They reverse split. It's not a penny stock anymore.
Right.
That
so
makes
it's probably 8 cents.
It's better now. No, it's not.
No, I don't. Look, the thing is about this is this. Neil and I are not here to give financial advice.
That's better.
Nor do we, you know, other channels have gotten in trouble for telling people what to do and when to do it.
Yeah,
That's not what we're about. You got to figure out your profile. You know, what the risk parameters that you're willing to withhold. For me, long-term FRC, I think it's a swinging. Like when you're moving 40% in one day,
you can trade it.
Like if I had a long-term, like we just showed you Pepsi. Pepsi's up 40% in 10 years, right? So it's different strokes for different portfolios. Obviously, Pepsi's given a dividend as well. It's been a great hold. But, you know, FRC right now, it was $120.
150.
Yeah, I was going to say about 2 months ago. And now you're down to $8. So, I mean, you know, if you're playing relative strength, that's not going to be one of those names. So I would say trade carefully. Obviously, I think that you can recommend a safer play of all of that would maybe be like a Wells Fargo or something if you want to play the regionals. Or I would say, guys,
or just play the ETF.
That's what I was going to go to immediately.
Yeah.
Just you can go over to KRE, which is the ETF right now. And look, despite everything getting absolutely clobbered, and again, not advice to say this is right for you or anybody else, but this has been a huge move down for the KRE. If you think it's a little overdone and some of these numbers that are coming out aren't that bad, then maybe you want to take a dip in this. $40, you can have your outs pretty easily. You could zoom out, back, around, down, all that and figure out. But I think KRE, if you are looking longer term, seems to be, for me, a little bit safer. But okay, Brendan, now let's talk about everyone's favorite car manufacturer, it's General Motors.
I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit sad about the Chevy Bolt. I just learned that they're going to end production this year of the Chevy Bolt, which is their first mass market EV that GM created. So obviously there's more to come. They're working on other things, but the original Chevy Bolt will be no longer as of the end of this year. This was the main headline, however, for GM. Full year forecast to the upside. Strong pricing, strong demand coming through on both sides, so decent report. But the market didn't help today, unfortunately. The initial move nicely positive for GM, but back down in a hurry. 35 tried to hold there, but not for very long.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, this was an interesting play to me today. I want to see if we sold off on the news. We're respecting the Samsung and the LG kind of deal that they made there. It looks like maybe the market not liking the fact that they're spending so much CapEx in the face of, you know, a contractionary period. I also want to mention one thing, Brendo. Yeah, actually, no, that doesn't apply to this one. I'm going to pass on that.
We were sitting here this morning wondering about the call that started at 8:30, but this overall move starts to come in after 9 o'clock. So well into it at least. But 4% here, guys, bouncing off day lows here.
Yeah, it tried to hold 35, and then Brendan was so distraught over the Bolt being gone that he dumped all his shares, and then
he was very upset
it
there.
quadunked to the downside. It's good. Look, man, GM, that's nasty. Randy had a few things to say about this, setting aside some funds for some recalls, and quite frankly, it's not a good reaction to what at first was a gap up. If you do not hold here, you're right down to $30 at some point, which gets pretty nasty. I didn't trade it, so neither one of us traded it. I don't think. I'm going to assume neither one of us traded it. I'm not sure there's a trade for this afternoon other than to look at the abject disaster that it is. However, if we're going to talk, we don't have Tesla on the board there. If we're going to talk about something which is interesting, of course now Tesla's breaking down. All afternoon, Tesla was holding and looking like it did not want to participate in this downward move. All of a sudden, it's going to roll over. So the last shoe to drop, or one of the last shoes to drop, is going to be Tesla. It was the one strong EV name. Now it's getting absolutely quadunked to the downside as well, trying to hold VWAP in here. If it can hold VWAP, we're at 4,100 on the ES. So if there was a bounce zone to be had, there we go, load it back up. If there's a bounce zone to be had, this would be that support level. We'll see what happens. I'm not completely convinced that we can do it. I'm into my Google long because it bounced off that 104.50 area, so I got some sub 105 on the bounce. But if the 4,100 holds, I'm in Alphabet. I would like Tesla. It doesn't feel like that's going to be the case. I'm meta short. I'm finally Intel short, which took me all day to do. But yeah, the EVs have been getting shellacked as well. I had some Neo the short like a few times, but if the story is going to be can Tesla hold up after spending all day above VWAP in a tanking market, it felt like this was going to be the place to go long, but even it is struggling right here.
So I just put the order in, man. I'm going to take a short on Tesla if we break below. I mean, just looking at this too, I'm not going to talk about GM. Just looking at this level right here, it looks like we're at VWAP. This is a 3-minute chart. It has faded out. Maybe Tesla is a little late to the party. Would have been pretty sweet. And I don't know. I don't know why we weren't looking at Tesla on the midday show. And this is what I mean about looking at the right amount of stocks at the right time. And that is a Sean trade right there. Like this is like, you know, this is what I'm looking for. These tops in a falling market, you go short and hope they hold. And if they don't, you know, you're going to be in here losing like 50 cents, $1, something like that. But then when you're right and you get these breaks, then it's payday, right? And I mean, that's what we're trying to do right now. That bottom is 161.60. Look, if we break 161.50, I am going to go short. But, you know, looking at where this is 162.50. I almost think to give this thing like 50 cents. I don't want to give this too much room here for Tesla. So unfortunately, if it does break lower, we'll take the trade. But then, okay, where'd my charts go? But then if we could take one, there's 162 right there. Maybe give it to 162.10, something like that, 162.20. But either way, this is not a trade where if we get filled and it doesn't hold, I'm not holding this back to day's high. Tesla's been strong in this move. You can see the NASDAQ's only down, not only down, the NASDAQ's down 1.6 and Tesla's only down 0.5. So there are a lot weaker names. Like we're $1 in the money on Apple. We're 50 cents in the money on FRC right now. So we're picking our poison here, but I feel like Tesla is worth, holy crap, We don't even have to talk about Google. Google's coming up next, but Google's at a really epic level. It's the max level down here at 104.50. That's just bouncing again off that level. So this has been a great trade for Google. There it is right there, 104.50. This is the stuff that you want to pay attention to. I'm feeling like a long here on Google into this trade. So I don't know, man. Do we want to go long Google, short Tesla? That doesn't seem like that's any good right now. But I prefer the long Google than the short Tesla. So let's see what happens right now. But if I do get that short in Tesla, it'll be short-lived if it goes back up 50 cents. So let's be careful with that. But Google's on my mind now, Brendan, which matches with our rundown because it's big tech over to the big desk.
Huge level coming into play here for a number of instruments, including some of the yields, guys, back to the downside, even as the market makes new lows. Here's the 10-year, just made a new low as well on the day. 2-year as well, new lows right now. So everything downside. Let's talk about tech as we head towards Google and we head towards Microsoft, Alphabet, obviously, and Microsoft coming up tonight as far as earnings are concerned. I mean, the market obviously didn't help this today, but not a good look going into these reports.
No, and you've got like stocks like Amazon that have been relatively strong over the last little while. Amazon's been quite strong, really giving it up today, down over 3%. Amazon breaking that 103, Brendo, headed to the south side. And yeah, I think it's pulling some of these other names with it.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what comes of this. I mean, if you zoom out a little bit here on the daily chart, look at a higher time frame. I mean, we're just stuck in this range still as the overall NASDAQ is as well. But I mean, Danielle Shea was talking about this level, this 103.5 to come into play possibly off of this report today. We'll see. 1%, as you were saying, Sean, for this Alphabet ahead earnings.
Alphabet. And I'm in Alphabet. And the thing about this one is, like, at least it's been, despite the downward trend, at least it's been solid. Because, quite frankly, I drew the lines and they're gone. It doesn't really matter. There's 105. There's what Sean was just talking about. We illustrated this like 105, 104.5. It's kind of off a little bit, but you can see the idea. The long in front of it, bouncing off yesterday's lows, worked on the dip. It failed at 106 in the midday. We're sort of talking about this one on the midday show when the market was at an inflection point and Google was either going to get above and hold and go to the high or it's going to reverse. I trailed it out the second it failed that top. I reloaded it, did not get in until it retested that 105.20 level. One last shallow bounce. I got out when it couldn't get back above the hump at 75, and then I waited for it to get in the next buy zone, and it's in the next buy zone now. Maybe a little bit early there because I have an 80 price, but if it bounces off to 50s, I'll try to add to it. I don't really love the notion of adding to it because, quite frankly, we're going the other direction. The other big tech name I'm in was a reversal. Okay, it's not really a reversal because I wasn't in it when it happened, but I went long Meta in front of 09. That was a quick stop. It just way too weak at that point. I could have waited for it to bounce off there and start going long, but there were other places to go. Once it took this down, I just reversed into the short. Support level like that breaks, momentum to the downside. I'm in the short now. I got the 888s. In there. I had multiple entry points. My last entry was obviously 88, but that wasn't my first. It just touched 208 even, so this one now flushing to the downside. One long, one short, but quite frankly, if 41 doesn't hold on the ES, I think we can all guess which one's going to work.
Yeah, I was just writing to you guys here in a chat. But I don't know how to spell. So, yeah, I was just thinking about going. There it is. Okay, I was thinking about something there with Google, and I'm in the long as well right now. So came into the level. I really like that 104.50. If it's going to work, it's going to work. This is what we did on Google earlier. We've already been long all day. There was the 105 long. That was fantastic. We got out of that. Like this is a 105.05 long right here, or 105.15 long. That's out at 82. So that's 70 cents. That's 70 cents. Like these moves on the upside are well traded there. You know, earlier on, we took the break thinking that maybe if this is a long day that we definitely liked Google there. But then it fell in. We got out once it broke through. Then we got the long. So right now we're back into that long against 104.50. Why 104.50? Well, I just sort of showed you, maybe it was the 20-minute that looks better. You can go all the way back down here on Google, zoom, 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 right here, that's 104.50. So it's this little bottom that I'm most concerned with right there. So if we break below, then we have a problem, right? We've also respected this level all the way. So 104.50, there was a couple days of dumping down, but now you flush on earnings day. Let's see if this one will make the magic for Google. And then, of course, the biggest of the big here. I could talk about Microsoft as well, but we're going to get all over this in a couple minutes. But Apple as well. You know, short, like long early, we talked about how great this was. This looks like I said, it's like almost like an NFT here. Buy. Painting or planting red flowers there, red roses. And all of a sudden they turned purple as we went short here, and we are still short. So short. I guess that's me getting filled over there. So for some reason it's not showing up there, which kind of makes sense, but I don't know why these are showing up. But anyways, short right there at 164.80. So that's where we're at right now as Apple making near the lows of the day, and I think it continues to go, man. So as the futures continue to go down, the only name that we're in right now is Google, and this might not be for very long. We're trying it one more time down here near 104.50, and then honestly, we break too much lower than that, we're gone out of Google. So let's be careful. We're holding the shorts. Google's my next long, may not hold as the NASDAQ is in no man's land right now. We talked about, whoops, that's going to be, okay, that's good. We talked about taking out that level. It did that pretty easily. That's that 12,930 there. Now you're all the way back, and this is what I mean by no man's land. You're stuck here at 12.8, right? I mean, this bottom's 12.6, 12.6 is right here. So yeah, you have a little bit of room to go to the downside here with big tech earnings on board. If they don't report well, man, this is going to be a disaster tomorrow. Free Fall Friday might actually happen on a Wednesday. All right, Spotify, 500 million users. I ain't one, but I like that number. Let's go over to the big desk.
There are two of those sitting right here, actually.
Yeah, they take my money.
Every single month. Happily. Yeah, a big number. In fact, it was more than that. It was 515 million versus an estimate of 506. So, but it was the first time, yeah, that they got over that 500 million mark for total amount, obviously in the quarter as well. 210, meanwhile, on the premium side of things versus 206 expected. So across the board, pretty good day here for Spot.
Yeah, and the growth on the back of global growth, guys, not so much North American growth. So I like that company pursuing, you know, greener pastures abroad, and that's kind of what you want. That's kind of what you want to see when you're looking for growth.
One stock that has actually held up pretty nicely here, although we are back to morning lows once again here, guys, for Spotify.
I mean, being on the lows doesn't make you distinguish today. That's just, it's pretty much the normal circumstance. As a matter of fact, what you want to find right now is what isn't at the low of the day. Right. I mean, Tesla's not at the low of the day. We talked about that a little bit. Coinbase is not at the low of the day. FRC is not at the low because the low was so ridiculous, but I don't think there's a trade in Spotify. Once it's gone into barcode mode, what I want to come in and look for tomorrow is does this 137 hold, or does it try to fill in the gap? Because that was, you either shorted, somehow you were just looking for shorts at 145, which I was not, and you saw the wick top at the open, or maybe you had a break or something, or you sat off 137 and got a couple of dollars there. Now, the only question is, does it hold? Or if there's a breakdown, maybe you see a short through 137 if the market wants more than 2% today. I could see that being the case, but I don't think we have a trade here, quite frankly. And someone said, Neil, you're not short Tesla? No, I'm not. I'm not short Tesla. Like, it broke down that 162. Like, it finally went, and I kind of missed out on that opportunity. I did add to Google. It's like, yeah, bounce off 104.50. Let's add to the long instead of securing a reversal there on Tesla. So I did not get that one. I am still in like an Intel from a little bit earlier off the 29, which it's still pretty much at that price. But Tesla now firmly red. I'm not in it. And I forgot to mention this during for big tech. I'm not in Amazon. And I went over to Meta, but Amazon reloaded VWAP. I mean, I don't have to tell you that that's a better trade. You guys can see that would have been a better trade. And sometimes there's a level that I had written down for Meta. Wait. I had that 09, and I get enamored with it, and I kind of just went away from. It was a good level on Meta. I'm not going to say it's a bad trade. It's just that, you know, Amazon was giving this one to you throughout that midday, and I kept waiting for it to get close enough to 105 when really it was telling you that 104, 104.5 was the entry zone, and now it's just absolutely, it's quadrukin to the downside. I don't know, that's my way of using the quadrunk and a little bit of Street Fighter action. It's ugly on Amazon. If we actually break this 102, maybe we can see 100 this week, which would be very interesting. But right now the market's trying to bounce off 41 on the ES. I don't think that that's a point that you want to put on shorts when you're at that level. I think you're either in them or you're not. And if the market's going to bounce from here, if you find a decent shot at a long, if you have a stop or a tight scalp, I guess that will be fine. But yeah, it's a hard place to put on shorts when the market's at support.
I didn't even realize this. Apple's really bumping right now. Oh
yeah?
There's news on Apple. Apple's working on features for user with vision problems. That doesn't seem to be, that's great news. I just don't know if that is the right news there. Apple is planning an AI-powered health coaching service, mood tracker. Apple, I told you they're always gonna win. So right there, health tracking coming through for Apple, coaching service. So I don't know, whatever. Nice little bump up there for Apple. It doesn't seem like that's a huge piece of the story there. We only have 10% of our trade left. You can see all these outs on the way down there for Apple, but it is making that move back up. We did take some more shares here on Google, but for right now, upside. And I guess Apple sort of fits with this. I used to be a Spotify user as well. I switched over to Apple Music. I can't tell the difference. The reason why is because I have Apple One, which puts everything together into one and just charges you one time right there. So that's what's going on with me and Apple. But yeah, I think the Spotify news is great for Apple. So you know, as it goes, it just sort of justifies that space. You're going to see Apple come out next week, and they'll report what's going on with their user numbers and things like that. I love Apple. I think that they have the biggest moat around them for sure. And we're going to wait to see what happens with their report. But I like Apple there. And now off to Coinbase, which had a real big move over the last couple of days and again here today. Let's go get some news on Coinbase.
What just happened on Meta?
Miss Katrine was running away from the shot. Let's talk about Coinbase. Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of angles that we were discussing. If you joined us early on this morning, the fact that they had obtained a Bermuda license, suggesting that if the SEC doesn't come through with some sort of groundwork or structure around some regulatory moves, that they might actually just leave the U.S. market. Here's BTC. Meanwhile, it's been a pretty quiet day overall, kind of chopping around, still holding bottom end of the range here around 27 for Bitcoin, Ethereum as well. Same story back to 1830 after that big pull-in, but holding support. So as far as the crypto angle is concerned, not a lot to talk about today, but so much other side of the story here for coin.
Yeah, but it's been a good day, Brendo, for these mining equity names. Let's have a look at Riot here. It is up and to the right, 6 2/3% of the day, 1109 high. We're at 1103 at the moment. So been a good day. Mara, very similar chart. It's going to take a minute to load here on it. So I just wanted to mention these ones, even though we're not seeing much in the way of move on coin, only up 1%. Some of these equities moving.
Yeah, we were wondering if we were going to get a bounce here as far as coin was concerned after that almost 8.5% move downside yesterday on more regulatory questions for Coinbase.
Yeah, well, you got to bounce. It's only up 1.4%, but in the face of a market which tanked, I'd say it's a pretty solid bounce there for coin. I was looking for the big, load to short in the consolidation range. It breaks the bottom. You're getting out. It turned into a very different trade because I loaded into the short, and then as it head down to the bottom, I'm covering half, and then it doesn't break. It doesn't even get to that 54 low. It goes right back up to the top, and this turned into an inside day scalp trade. So I scalped it from 56 all the way down the second time through, and then I got cute, reloaded in here off 55. There were some wins, but quite frankly, ended up having to get out on too much strength. If there is a trade, so someone had asked, do you like the reload at 56 because it was a good short earlier? I don't know, because if you short something that's up 1.5 and has a huge gap fill here while the market's bouncing off the lows, I think it's just too much of a risk to get squoze. So if it breaks 56, I'm asking myself, do I even want this one long? That's even a bit of a question there. And just guess what just happened? I have to get to Meta because I was just saying there was a couple of, one of these is real. This is not real, that wick. But this second one here on volume on Meta broke 08 back into 09 real quick. It got in there back in 09, and then it's testing higher. So I do not necessarily want to auto-reload 09s. If it breaks 09, I just want to get out. I didn't see anything that hit the wire. It's just a big spike off the low of the day over there on Meta.
Yeah, we're going to go along Microsoft right now. Coinbase, Coinbase, SI, all those names. Downside moves, upside moves. Bitcoin is 27 and change. Ethereum's 18 and change. Yeah, definitely some good levels to look at. I want to be short on Coinbase as much as we can, but I am not short Coinbase right now. All right, so here we go. Microsoft, we could probably wrap that board up, guys. Microsoft right now, look, it's sort of barcoded down here. This is the kind of stuff that I like to see. Nice little move down to 50, nice little move up to O's. And now if the market wants to go, if we can break above this 50 period, which we're trying to do right now, look, I don't know if the market bottomed or not, but this is a nice move up. We haven't seen anything like this until right there. About an hour ago, we had a very, very similar move where we got to the 50 period, then just started creating bigger bottoms right there as well. So let's wait to see. We're trying to take out 277 now. That's going to be a long for me. As soon as that happens, we'll break the long outside there. And if not, then I am going to try to take a long back down here into the 60s. I'd rather get that right now than take the break, but I don't know. It's looking like it's trying right now. Maybe Microsoft doesn't want to go after all. I feel like the break, I feel like it's going to false break. Like it's going to break, I'm going to get long, and then I am going to get filled down here. All right, let me just, I hope this doesn't backfire, but if it does, it does. I'm going to lower the shares to half of what I wanted the first time. So if it breaks 277, I want it.
Oh, I haven't tested
but
that.
I could see this. I could see this false breaking again, right? Like the futures are trying to break higher right now. What I mean by a false break is this, that like it breaks it, gives you the idea that it's going up. Maybe it goes up 10, 20 pennies, and then just goes bang right to the downside. So traps people like me, which are now long. We just got long on the break right now. So in order to not be, look, I'm still going to get trapped. I just, the trap was set, and I basically just like walked right into it right there as I'm talking about getting trapped. So
it's a Jedi move.
There it is right there, yeah. So that's fine, but this is why we lowered our shares, right? I don't know if it's a trap or not, but I called it one, and now it looks like it's coming back in.
Oh, give me.
So we are, for now, we're down 12 pennies. But again, if I don't take that fill and the market rips, then I'm like, okay, well, we don't have it because we were scared. Nah, we'll understand the risks, which is why we lowered our default on that trade. And then we're going to try to get a 60 in here as well. And then if we break 50 to the downside, then we can be out, which my average price at that point will be like 80 or something. So a 30-cent hit on Microsoft. Now, what are we talking about? That is fine for me. So there he goes. Now we can see we go back up to the upside a little bit. We have the trade. Let's see where it goes from here. I do not have a target. I will get my first piece out right here at 30s. That would be nice, but we want more than that. And then after that, man, we'll see if we about 278 or something like that. So again, it's about a 50-cent worth of risk. So let's take a piece out for 30. Then we hopefully get up here in the 80s and we'll deal with it at that point. But I don't know if this is going to go or not. So the future's trying to go here. I like Microsoft. We've got Google long. We've got Microsoft long. And this Apple is the least of my worries, but it is going back up to the upside. Probably just get it out if we take this 55 area. Call it a wrap, because if that happens, then, man, we're going to be printing on anything else. So Google upside for right now, and Microsoft.
Just quickly, the FRC just made it all the way back to the last halt up was at 945 or 946, I want to say, and then it opened up, couldn't get past 980. It's right back to the same level. So I'm sort of shorting the same, I guess, like wick top, whatever you want to call it. 950s, I have short, 53, same thing. If it cannot hold beneath that 10 to 980 level, obviously you could have a squeeze higher, but that's where it turned for the last time. That's where it could turn now. Alphabet just made a little move up, and I got some out there because every time it pops up, I want to make sure I'm getting something at the next relief zone. So like you see, I'm like offering at this spike, I'm offering at that just above that 105, and then when it gets to the previous low, I have an offer up there as well. But someone had asked why trade GOOG-L instead of GOOG. It just does more volume. Whether you and again, it's just different share classes. So we're trading. We don't really care about voting rights and all that nonsense. All that matters to us is which one's more liquid and has better volume. So GOOG-L does more volume than Goog. That's a consistent thing that it does every single day, and that's all a day trader is going to usually care about. So more volume there. That is the answer to the question. Hopefully that makes some sense. I was talking about Meta, and I didn't want to reload. So the news was that they poached a Microsoft executive for some chips, and that was the new spike on Meta. That doesn't seem overly crazy, so maybe I should have just jumped back into that 209. But I didn't know at the time if there was something bigger that had just happened in Meta. That's why I decided not to go more short at 209. But it still looks pretty solid there at those levels. Amazon right now is a bit of a dog. and it's right on that bottom. I just like Google a little bit better. If you're hunting for lows, Amazon looks much weaker than everything else. If this market continues to roll over, I feel like Amazon is a good place to be, but I just can't bring myself to short these bottoms. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. The only one, I'm already in something which is a short the bottom, which I said if we got to 29 on Intel, let me zoom it out. So I've been in this short, I scalped some out, I've reloaded it in the bottom of this range because Intel is on the precipice. It's at and kind of testing that 50 period on the daily. I think it's floodgates beneath it. My stop is at 10s, we're just above 10s. But if it breaks down, you could see 28.5 on Intel pretty easily. And it's a dog today, down 2%. And the chips overall have been weak in general.
Yeah, the chips have been really weak. If you've seen that chart of AMD, it's like pretty pathetic
worse?
as it just keeps on falling down, 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 down. We wait for earnings on those names. Let me just check when AMC is earning or when it's okay.
AMC or AMD?
AMD, sorry.
Okay.
Look at Google right now. Let's ring the register a little bit as well right there as we've been buying this up on the cheap right there for Google. We had that 104.50 area. We talked about that. And there's the buy for that. And there's a couple outs for us and now. So maybe I'll take back my resignation. The seat's going fine. Okay, that's NIO. I just talked about AMD. Let's see when they report. I think next week, May 2, yeah. So May 2nd coming through next week, earnings date for advanced micro devices. And then so that's May 2nd. Let's just check out NVDA as well on here. Ooh, late one, May 24th. So we're going to get the story from AMD first. Then you got to wait a month yesterday. For NVIDIA. Wow, that's a late reporter right there. That's really okay. Here we go, man. We talked about going long back into this game. So there it is. The long Microsoft is starting to work as well. It's only 15 cents in the money, or it was. Need this one to go. We talked about where we're going to get our first piece out, 20. Actually, I'm at 30, so I'm going to just switch that over to 29 right now because I'm just noticing that that's where the levels are for that. Or sorry, 25 right here. So I'm just going to put an offer. This is just small, but I'm just following my rules. I'm not, we're just going to get out of 20% here or so as it rips up. I don't know if it's ripping or not, but if we can get 25 cents quickly on this name, then we'll do that on Microsoft because it's the 50 period. Just following what we're doing, man. I mean, that's it. We're going, there it is. So right there. Cash cow. I mean, we like Microsoft for sure. As I said, I think Mr. Stofty is my #1 name all time. But there it is, Microsoft. Nice little run up right there. Google's maybe making a move to the #1 spot as well. There's that 105 area, but of course this one can't be because I didn't trade it pre-split, pre-split right now. So 104, 104.05 coming into play. There's 105. Do we get out at 105? I mean, we're right here right now. Nah, let's see if it continues to go. Right now, we are 30 cents in the money on Google, so that's going to be a good trade right here. 20 cents in the money on Microsoft, and then there is our Meta, new position on Meta, taking the 209 break. So we're now long Meta here on that 209 break. Probably give this one back down to 208 or so. Let's see what happens with Meta finally breaking out upside now on META. Long Meta 209. Long Google. I'm going to get a piece out on Google just because I just went long Meta. If this market does fall down, we don't want to have multiple things to worry about. So there's another out for us. That's an awesome trade right there for Google. It comes right down to our level. We buy it and good to go. Not only that, we bought it twice. We bought the first one at 74, the next one at 60, getting it out at O's right now for that. There goes Meta trying to make, it just touched 30s there. Too bad for Meta. We should have got out of that one.
Yeah, I got out of my Meta. It gave you the dollar the first time. Look, I canceled reloading it because there was that volume spike. Ultimately, that ends up being a good thing. But quite frankly, sometimes that's a bit of a luck. If it doesn't do that volume spike, I probably reload it. And then I have to take a hit on the second part. But we only held 10%, and it's now breaking out. I think the longs look pretty solid at this point. We have Google in there. Tesla could reemerge itself. I think it's got a decent chance to do so. But someone just mentioned a name that is breaking out, and it's not a huge breakout. And I saw in the chat there, SoFi got mentioned. And look, it's not really moving. It's only 10%. It's not really green yet. It's a nice bottom that SoFi is making today. Oh, goodness, there's that issue on the 18th. Yeah, it's a nice little bottom that it's making, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere in the range and floating around. This needs to get above. We said this time and time again. SoFi, for me, is a wait till it gets and holds above like 6.25. That's where I want the long. And the day that it does that, that's the day we play into the 7 range. inside has just been chopping you up, down, and around, and it's been an absolute mess if you've been trading around that level. So I'm not touching SoFi today. It's not going to be any good. And FRC, I took that, whoops, it's a New York stock. I took that one into that previous wick. These are going to look like not very big moves, but I got that 50, gave it into that wick at 980. I'm now out of it. If it does a big move back into $11, somewhere in that range I would look for the short. So if it breaks 10, I wouldn't touch the short until it gets at least close to $11. That could definitely be one for us later on in the afternoon. Right now I'm just only in the two stocks. Intel's kind of holding the range. It feels like it's going to be solid. But really, FRC, if it breaks 10, I think you could see some fireworks to the upside. I want to be ready for that. PACW, they report tonight. I don't think there's a chance that it'll be as bad as FRC. However, it is floating around in sympathy to FRC. So if FRC rejects and starts flushing, PACW is showing you 1060. Like FRC just kind of broke resistance. PACW's at it without breaking. So there is a possibility for like a sympathy short. If I see FRC kind of halting down or doing something stupid to the downside, I'm kind of thinking of jumping into PACW as a bit of a laggard to any kind of a move like that.
All right, so like we were saying before, you know, what goes up must go down. And right now, some of those plays, like, yeah, it seems like that. Microsoft there. Oh, yeah, just, okay, good. So I'm on it right here. So there's an out. Here's the dip right back in again. So we're trying to buy something down here as well, or I thought I was. I actually don't have a bid down there anymore. Let's put a bid. We want to bid around 60 level or so for this retracement back in. So we'll do that right now, see if we can get a bid in and around this area. 66, 67, 68, doesn't really matter. Here it comes in right now. Let's go over to Brendan.
Just be aware, guys, there's some comments floating around from the White House on FRC specifically saying that more talks have been held with the bank. But there's increasing concerns that the bank is running out of time to reassure depositors and investors. So a lot of people circulating that right now. Just be aware.
Oh, all right. So we got out of our FRC there because it didn't fit our sort of our. Oops. There goes Microsoft, by the way. So we got out of a piece of it as it just breaks 50. Ooh, yeah, the market definitely retracing back down here. So I just noticed this right now. Huge little move down, huge little move down. It's not huge, but it does retrace all the way back up, hits not really a key level, 12,870, I don't know. And then it drops right back down again into that level. So yeah, just looking at a longer time frame, that doesn't really matter. There it is, man. Maybe just stay short. The market didn't break and we went long thinking that we could get an afternoon little rally, but doesn't look like that's going to come into play here today. But so far, so good. Microsoft dipped down area as well. We did get out of, oh no, we didn't. We tried to get out of some Meta there in the 90s when that happened, but now Meta's falling back down as well. So like I said, we're not going to hold this forever, but Meta down to 208. You know, hold it $1 against you doesn't seem to be too unreasonable, but still not a great hold. 208.60. Reload, and then we'll give it a shot there. Maybe this little break right there. That's still down low enough. 208, 208.20, 208. Yeah, I don't know, man. These levels are starting to break. We probably shouldn't be long anything. So right now we're trying to like pick and choose our poison here in this market. So let's just stay long some of the good names. We did get out of Google up there, Alphabet at 105. So we still have a piece left, but that was a good take on that one. Unfortunately, Microsoft really dumped out pretty good there on earnings. I mean, it's been really straight to the downside all day. And now coming into the close, it's only 244, and we're basically at the bottom of the day here for Microsoft. So be careful with this one. Yeah,
this is going to be a juicy close
because
no, this is the 4,100 on the ES. If that goes for good, I mean, we've had afternoons before where you just want to be sitting in the short. I had just said that it's a little bit tricky. The market's bouncing off 41. I don't want to take Coinbase short at 56. And then it does basically that patented break 56, get 9 cents or 8 or 9 cents, doesn't really go that far, and then slams back underneath. And by the time I got over to it, I'm trying to get something in the 80s here short. You know, you can just blindly go into a short like that, and quite frankly, if I just sat in front of it, it would look pretty solid. I'm trying to grab it now to give it to the high of the day. If I get it, I get it. I don't want to chase the move to the downside. You can see, but okay, there we go. I just got to fill in the 80s there. I was able to get some at 83. If I'm able to add to it off that wick high, fair enough. I'm considering whether I want to be back into Meta. Meta stopped out above 9. At that time, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get to VWAP, and we'll short at VWAP. Why would I want to just leverage into it, the market's bouncing off 4,100. So I'm going to be very cautious about where I enter back into Meta. I need to see the market breaking the bottom for me to want to be back into this if it's not going to be that 10s. I just like Coinbase. I know exactly where I'm going to be wrong for said Coinbase. And man, Amazon. Like Amazon does not really bounce at all. It's now double tapped the bottom. If we really go hwadunk with the market, then this one, I'm not jumping in. I just do not want to short the low while we still have 4,100 as support. And as long as we're there, I think it's a little dangerous to short Amazon just because risk to reward sucks. But man, the longer this happens, this is definitely the one you want to be in. And don't sleep on those chips. I had said Intel was down 2%. Quite frankly, Sean was like, yeah, AMD's not having a good day. AMD's down 4%.
Yeah.
You know, like this, I mean, that's insane. NVIDIA is down 2%. Like AMD's actually down more than the others right now. And look, 265 looks pretty juicy on NVIDIA, but I'm already into Intel. Actually added at that even level. We'll see. I'm into Coinbase now. I'll try to add to it. You still haven't really broken down through the bottom, so I don't think you want to go all in anywhere. And we have over an hour to go until we get to the end of the day. So there's plenty of time. And yes, that's what I wanted to get to. Mohammed Alabrash. I knew there was something I was forgetting about. CXAI. Sometimes you want to talk about something which is going up.
Congratulations! Always.
When it's a down day, it can be frustrating. But hey, I know an uptrend when I see it. Shout out to Sharif, who was all over this. Look at how gorgeous this has been off VWAP in like that $10 level. Pretty solid. It's bounced another time here. So pretty strong move in CXAI. And do you think it has some room to go to the upside? I'd say so. 1275 was that resistance. I don't know if it can break that, but a challenge of that high, as long as you can hold out at that support zone at 10, it's got a chance to challenge those highs. So a good one there on CXAI. If you got it, I think you're probably taking some profit here because it's already given you a dollar move off this bounce. But if it gets down into that 10, starts holding again, it's one of the only places where you can find higher lows and a pretty strong and continuous trend to the upside. Bounce. Of course, as I talk about it, it's going to come right into VWAP as we speak. That's just me jinxing yet another stock.
Yeah.
It was cruising.
Yeah.
Oh, my
You
goodness.
gotta believe in jinxes. Okay. Oh, man. I'm just looking for a longer term thing here on the NASDAQ. I mean, this is what the NASDAQ looks like for now. This is a 30-minute chart. Let me just go into, maybe let's go into a 20-minute chart here and see what that looks like quickly. This is just the NQs. You could see, man, it's definitely, there we go. I was like, why is the red not really showing up right there? But there it is. So straight to the downside right now. We've bounced off this 85 a couple times, 12,835, sorry, bouncing off there, and that's where we are right now. So that very bottom is 31. Looks like that's coming into play. And then if we could zoom back a little bit more here just to see what we're talking about, yeah, there's really, I mean, that close right here is 30s, so there's something back there. But that's, I mean, I hate doing this. Like, I hate looking back. But this is the whole month. So this is April 1st, basically, coming into play there. So we had a nice move all of April, definitely pretty strong. And it looks like right now, will we test the lows again? I'm not sure. But tomorrow is definitely going to help because you're going to have Microsoft come through and Google come through. But I don't know. I'm just looking at all these levels because the market is down quite nicely here today and almost in a straight line. We had one little bump up right there. And here I am. We're back into softy. All right, now it's starting to go upside a little bit. We can make a lot of this back, obviously, as we rebought that dip. I was waiting down here. It really sucks. I'm waiting at 21. It went as low as 27s. So let's see if that can hold out. We're now back into the money on this. We did take it out on Google because it went back down into the 80s. So we got an 83 out off of our long 66. So that's starting to work back up to the upside. Basically, the NASDAQ has to take this 50 period and this time actually hold it. So we're looking for, again, retracement. So this is actually pretty good. So comes down, makes a new low, breaks the 50 period, comes up here, tries to break the high, doesn't, but then makes a higher low right there. So I was going to say congratulations to myself because I normally get that the wrong way, and I probably did again. But right there, nice little move, does not retake that bottom. So now I'm going to see what happens here at 12,870 because we need to retake that high. So we need to start making higher highs right now. Boom, then we get into here, and then we'll just, at that point, We'll see, because we'll be printing at that point right now, which we are here. Okay, my day is getting a hell of a lot better as we speak right now. So this is live right now. It's balling time on the NASDAQ as it's starting to go back up. So just as we said, it's starting to go right now. NASDAQ, I mean, balling. Come on, you got to get up a lot higher than this. We're 40 cents in the money on Microsoft. We're 15, 20 cents in the money on Meta. It sucks. Like, I was so close to getting reloaded on all of these, but hey, when you miss the reload, it means we're going back up to the upside. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'll take this profit off of that. But my bid was at 60. It went to 69 right there. Why are we at 60? That's where the 50 period is. So we waited for that. We did not get it, but I'll take this 10 times out of 10. I'd much rather miss the reload to get the profit back to the upside than have to get the reload and then get it railroaded. So right now, it's a nice little move back up. And there it is, man. Take advantage of these bumps.
What the heck was... Oh, come on.
Thing is, why would I be offended by that?
First of all, I didn't even really see it. Can you
I'm just excited.
Play the whole thing again? I didn't see it.
It's like the fail thing, but it says boomer on it.
Oh, okay.
What age is the...
You know what, Jen?
Where's the cutoff?
I actually don't know. You guys tell me. I actually don't know what the cutoff is.
We just Google this.
We can definitely Google it. But I did get Tesla reclaimed 162. So if this is going to go above 162, has been pretty solid on Tesla. It's held 161. It thought it was going to flush. I missed the short off the 62 break, but it held 61.
Boomers are born in the 50s and the 60s.
What?
This is what people are saying.
Oh, hell to the no. Come on, son.
So Fahad is a little delusional in many things.
So what are we then? I don't know what we are. Gen what? Gen Z? I don't know. Rob says we're Gen Z. I actually don't know. But who the hell cares?
Just put the word alpha in front of it and you'll have it about right.
Oh my goodness.
We'll go there. Born between 46 and 64. Yeah, I mean, I know I look old, but not quite that old.
So like our parents?
You know what?
No,
we're Gen X, people are saying right
Generation
now.
X?
So once again, another fail for our boy Fahad. So
Come
sorry,
on,
buddy.
Fahad.
He tried, and he failed again. So
I'll tell you this right now.
It's like Fahad dunking. It's like Fahad
But if we were actually born then we look fantastic. So
that's what I'm saying. I don't know why it's an insult. So I'll take it 10 times out of 10 right now. Yeah. So okay, let's go. Let's keep on going here as we're having a lot of fun on the show.
Like the second I get into Tesla, the market reverses. It's like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, that Tesla break of 50. Yeah. So right there, we stayed away from it, and I guess it was a pretty good thing that we did as well. But it does.
Well, I took the quarter.
It breaks there. Oh, what did you? I don't even know your position. Go over to Niels.
Oh, sorry.
What did you say you had?
Anyways, I was just getting some out of Coinbase.
Oh, you're in Tesla still.
I'm in Tesla.
Okay,
so Tesla
good.
broke back out here. It broke the quarters, and I got that. I'm going to take some in front of VWAP if it comes back in. If I have to be long something, at least this one is close enough to being strong, but that's kind of like a trap in. Like the second I get into it, it starts reversing and coming back down, and I was just about to get more coin short and didn't get it, so we're now into Tesla off of VWAP. If it gets back up, I'm definitely relieving some pressure. I want to check back in on Meta, but obviously, we got other fish to fry with Tesla here. This market, if you look at what's happening, it is a battle at 4,100. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. All you're doing is running 4,100, getting a handle or two beneath, not breaking, and then going up, running 4,105, not breaking, and then coming back down. So you're just back and forth in a 5 or 6 handle range. I get it, and I'm 100% behind the notion that whichever direction we do it, if we end up trending in one direction off here, we're probably going 20 handles. At least. Like, we're going to make a move if we break out from here. But if we don't, get your scalping hat on because it'll be one of those. That's why if this bounces off VWAP and comes back 50 pennies, I'm just going to get some out and rinse and repeat off VWAP if that's the market we have. And it's the same thing with Coinbase. Like, I'm going to be getting out already well in front of VWAP, man. Because if we don't actually bounce anywhere, I know Bitcoin's making a bit of a move. We're just going to take advantage of what you can get in all these moves. And just same thing with Alphabet. Oh, that's not good for Google. So Google, it's just 105 has been a problem. I'm sitting on the other side of 105. Like sometimes it's like, okay, I have it at the next zone. I'm only holding on to the last third. But it's telling you if you're either getting out in front of 105 or you're waiting for a lot higher up. And getting out in front of 105 for the next leg makes some sense to me. I'm going to get some offers. I'm going to get an offer out again in front of 105. There had been no reloads down at the bottom, but quite frankly, it doesn't look that good. It doesn't look that good on the market. So you got to play inside the range. I thought we could trend one direction, especially if we'd made some kind of a low, but the market's telling you, nah, this battle's not done yet at these lows. So you got to play inside of it if you can.
No, not even close to being done right now, I don't feel like anyways.
Nah.
Yeah, so Meta, we just got the Meta long that we wanted, but I don't want to be in this for too long. I mean, if this breaks too much lower than this 40 area right here, then I'm going to be gone. Meta on that move back up, it didn't even really move. We did get our fill there at 15s, whatever it was, but that's nothing. We were long at 209. We take 15 cents. I mean, right now we're out of the money on this 25 cents. So, you know, it's a pretty comfortable position, but I don't want to, like I said, man, if these lows keep on getting put like this, like again, look what just happened. We talked about the NASDAQ, went up, made that high, back in there, does not make that low, but does also not make that high. So it's confused. You know, is it confused? It's downside, that's for sure. It's confused about the long, and if we didn't take that out, that should have been a sign right there. But we will test it one more time. I mean, you know, you can't just be in and out. Like, you got to sort of understand. You could be in and out for scalping. I think this is a scalper's market, but I just don't want to get in and then just get out right away. So we're going to give this about 30 cents to the downside right now before we do get out. I'd like to see it break 50, then break that 40 level right here on Meta in order to get out, and that's what's going to be coming through on that one. Microsoft has retraced a little bit back up to the upside. We're long at 57. Let's take advantage of that and get some out at 75 right there. So that's going to be a good trade for us on that reload. Apple still 65 cents in the money on the short. That almost got us out, but didn't. I'm debating just getting this out right now, but you know, it's paying us off a little bit, being able to hold this back down, but we have so many more shares and everything else. So I like this. You know what? If this takes out 164.20 right here, 20s, then I'm going to get out. So let's do that on Apple in case it does retrace back up. But for right now, it's Meta, Google, Microsoft are really the names that I'm focused on for good reason. I mean, I have an upsize position here in Meta just because I got that fill. Not upsize, it's just more than everything else right now. I'm not in these longs for very much. Like, I'm just trying to see what's going to happen here. If we can make a little bit of money heading into the close, then we'll try to do that.
So I'm just going to get this out because people are asking for a bet. This is the easiest and the first one that I could come up with. So done, and I'm just going to start. It's going to be on FRC, and it's going to be pretty simple. So on FRC, it's just like, it's back and forth, 9 to 10, 950, so above or below 950. You guys want it out there, so the bet is above or below 950. Of course, as I'm doing it, it just starts flushing. So yeah, people are going to probably be piling into the downside of that bet. Hilarious. Like, I was just putting it together and it was holding right around the mids, and the second I put that thing live, it's already at $9 again. Give me a break. It might end up like kind of like free money there. I'll probably leave it open for a little bit. I'll give you guys some time for that. Not 3 points, right? But I want that short. I probably want the sell side of it myself. I said if we got any bounce into where I got suckered into the original long of Tesla, I'm changing gears and going scalp mode. So that means cover some, try to get back on the bid at support, cover some, stay net long if it's going to go, but respect the fact that we're in a 5-handle range. And inside a 5-handle range means put your scalping hat on or don't trade it. Just because that's what I think that's what we're looking at here today, at least in the afternoon. So coin, that's the other one that we're in. I got some out. I'll reload off that 56 high. I'll get more out down toward VWAP. Next bid's at 55.40 if we can catch it. The one I'm going to sit in, and I'm going to the daily chart because the one I'm sitting in, and I think I really just want to be sitting in this, and I don't want to be going back and forth with Intel. I'm just literally short 29, which is the 50-period moving average, and I have my stop just barely above the bottom consolidation here. So if the market does flush, I'm short this. It's only down 2% when AMD's down 5, and it's on major support. If that support breaks, I think you could have a big flush at the close on Intel, which has happened before. Google, I'm glad I didn't reload it like too high. We're waiting for the bottom or not, because we're right here. So like the level to reload is here on Alphabet. We talk about it being a scalping range, and 105 is the top, 104.50 is kind of the bottom. And I was in early initially on this position, but now you got to be precise, because if the levels break at the bottom and you're going to be long, you might as well be long at a good price.
I mean, it's just we got Visa coming, there's Microsoft, there's Alphabet, we've had a bunch of names today, General Motors kicking it off as well, Ford coming, Chipotle, there's a couple good names coming through later on, so we should be excited for those names. And, you know, I know a lot of you are as well, because they're big, widely held names. right now. So, all right, yeah, not much really to talk about.
Can I, answer, I need to answer a question here.
Yeah, do it. That's
so Frank just asked, why would I put a short on Coin and not Mara at the same time? They're in a similar spot. Easy answer. Because I haven't traded Mara in like 2 years. And okay, maybe I've traded it once. It's a possibility that I traded Mara once or twice in the last couple of years. But really, I don't really look at the stock. Until you just said that, I didn't realize it was exactly the same setup. Quite frankly, it's that simple. There's no other reason. I haven't traded it. I don't really look at it. It's been a while. But yes, that's a very similar setup. If you're tracking one of those two names, you could easily have just taken Mara short at like 9:30 or something. Very similar setup there. So, do whatever works for you, and
congratulations!
Yes.
If you're making money on that short. I just haven't looked at Mara to be able to notice that, quite frankly. So I'm not going to give you some kind of a crazy answer that's other than I don't trade the stock. I don't know what to tell you, but sometimes it's just the right answer.
There's nothing crazy about that. Yeah, what were we talking about again? Oh, yeah. I can't remember. Oh, Apple. Okay, Apple's making a move downside. What else do you guys want to talk about? Wow, you know it's down a lot. First of all, we're trying to get Meta. We're not trying to do anything. We're trying to wait for Meta to get going up to the upside now. It doesn't look like it, man. It just keeps on failing. Like we got a 75 or an 80 or whatever that fill was right there. It was just absolutely nothing on Meta. I mean, hopefully we get a little bit of a spike up in the NASDAQ. We're sitting around 209 to get a piece out. We're long. That would be great if we could get that 25 cents. Like, I don't think this is really moving to the long side. If anything, we should probably be back into the short again as the NASDAQ just continues to fail, man. It's just, I'm in this for that late session push. Like in an hour, the world's going to change. Nah, not really. You have
world?
Microsoft. Wow.
Okay.
The world as we know it in the NASDAQ is probably going to change. We have Microsoft and Google coming out. And then like Sharif mentioned earlier on, I think this morning, that, whatever Alphabet says today is going to affect this guy right here, Meta, because it's all about that advertising number. And when that comes through, digital ad space, where are the daily active users on an Instagram side of things? Because of course Alphabet and they're together as well, right? Like Instagram, Alphabet with the YouTube Shorts, so that's going to affect maybe the Instagram numbers coming through. So there's lots of stuff happening right now in this market, and yeah, we're going to get some numbers very, very soon. Microsoft's going to tell the way as well. I mean, what are they doing with Bing? What's going on with chat? What are their plans moving forward? And when you're trading these names, you got to be very, very careful that you take profit when they're there, because little daily active users, little metrics like that we can't control, could be the other way. So let's just continue to watch it. There it is, this nice 40-cent move now. This is enough for me. I'm going to take a piece out here. We went long on this break earlier, but we were able to average it back in. You saw that right there for Microsoft as we got out and averaged it back in, and now you start to take out 277. Let's see if we can go into the close. That's 277.27 right there. Hey, as this is ripping up, I don't even have to see. I know I'm making that cash because Meta's probably going back up to the upside as well. 277.20, good enough for me, Microsoft.
Yeah, Tesla's making a bit of a bounce to the upside as well, so that's pretty good. The only one that's not going
is Meta, actually.
No, Google's not really going either.
No, Google's not doing it. Meta didn't do
No,
it.
I didn't get the I missed the Google reload by a few cents, and it didn't really go there. So, yeah, that's still a bit of a dog. That's kind of weak. What is Amazon doing? Always want to check in. Amazon's actually bouncing. So, yeah, the weakest of the bunch is making a bit of a bounce. This might be a good opportunity if we're bouncing here to just get a little bit more out of Coinbase here. Because you want to make sure, like if we are making a bit of a bounce, I just got the chance to get out of coin. And again, okay, yeah, I had it on Amazon. I wanted to make sure I got the execution. I saw on my chart when I looked up that you were at a support zone. Let's get some out of Coinbase if the market's making another bounce off that. It's not the low. You guys know what I'm getting at when I say that. It's just the bottom end of our little 5-6 handle dance that we're doing this afternoon, and that's what the market has decided we're going to be doing. You can't. Look, whatever music's getting played, you just got to dance to it, right? Like if you want to. Like, you're not going to sit out there square dancing if you got, like, Busta Rhymes on. It's just not how it is. And if you do, you're going to look like a fool. If that's what you want to do, that's fair enough. I don't want to. If we're in a scalping range and we're going to scalp it, I've been in that trap before. You guys have probably seen me on the afternoon show where I'm sitting there in a trade that's as if, I'm going to hold on to it for the entire hour and a half. I'm going to get this big trend, and that's not the move that's there. You just sit there doing nothing because, quite frankly, it's a waste of time. So we have an inside day. We're going to scalp it. That's what it's all about. Now we're coming right back down on Tesla, which does mean I'll look for some bounce support here. I don't need 2 bids in there. Just going to have a bounce off support if we get VWAP, and we'll go rinsing and repeating. Coin coming down. Google, how about Google? Google's the one that's kind of...
The whole market's going to crash.
The problem is that last bounce on Alphabet was a very weak one. I mean, really weak. Is it worth a reload when the last bounce is weak? I don't think so. So I'm going to be a little bit cautious with it. I'm not going to go for the reload on Alphabet, which probably means it's going to work out. We'll see what happens there. I just feel like this hasn't been as strong lately. Maybe there's something else other than Tesla I could get into. There was something else. It was that CNXI, right? No, dang it. What was that other small cap?
CXAI.
CXAI. Why did I have it the wrong way around? So hey, that starts coming to the downside. I thought we'd get into VWAP on it. Nope. It bounces higher, low, right back up to the top. So I don't know if I'm going to get it. I would have liked the bounce off VWAP there, as you can see. Still super strong, CXAI. Good for you. Like, this is the one. I wish I'd picked that one up. Like, I'm flirting around there with the big caps off the lows. If you got aggressive with this, you could have the 11 long, and you're already at 1170. I wanted it beneath 11 into, like, 1050s. It feels like that ship might have sailed. There's still 50 minutes to go. We have some time, but we are running out of it here for that long to be any good. The small cappers, chasing them off the highs, it gets a little perilous when you get into the end of the day. They don't have the catalyst of what the market does on imbalances or trending. If they don't break the highs by about like 345, they tend to only do it aftermarket, which is no good to us.
No, not at all. Okay, nice. Can I get
Noise?
a 73 though? Noise. Right there. Sorry, I don't know if that was a boomer term or not. Nice little move to the upside right here for Meta. So we got a 57. We're getting some out at 70s, 78, 79s. We talked about 20 cents. If we can get it, we'll take it right here. So it's a nice little move to the upside here for Meta off that bottom. And again, like we were getting long at 54, man. I told you embarrassing, but our out was going to be 40. So it's 15 cents. It's in the money now 20, but whatever. Let's go up to the upside here. I want to try to make something here into the close, but I do believe that you guys are right, man. Get locked and loaded because it's bear season right now. And
not Chicago.
It seems like not Chicago. Well, the Chicago Bears have a very interesting. They traded off that #1 pick, of course, right? So we'll see what they do. They got DJ Moore coming through. That should help them. And then Khalil Herbert, and then we'll see who they draft. Apparently, Bijan Robinson, I would love him as a Buffalo Bill, but
he's not going to last that far.
No, that's what I was going to say. I don't think that he's going to get.
My prediction?
Yeah.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I saw that.
Trade down from 8 so that they can take him because Atlanta's.
No.
But
I think he goes to 8 no matter what.
No,
Who's going to get it? Jump ahead.
No, I think someone. If Anthony Richardson falls,
yeah,
someone's going to jump up to grab a quarterback. And if Richardson doesn't go to Vegas at 7, then someone's going to jump up if he starts falling.
Richardson's gone at 4.
It could go either way. If he
I
doesn't
think go top 4 quarterbacks all.
If they don't go, then they start dropping, and someone tries to pop up, like a Tampa or somebody like that. And one of those teams does that. Atlanta's going to be laughing to trade back and get Bijan for cheaper. It sucks to be a running back.
If they can, but they're already at 8 though. Isn't Atlanta at 8?
They're at 8 right now.
Oh, so you think they want to trade back?
I think they trade back because who else is taking a running back that high? Anyways. NYSE is a Key and Peele sketch.
Yes.
They had NYSE. Okay. So that's not boomer.
But maybe Key and Peele probably older than us.
You know, I don't know.
Well, there you go. I think it'd be pretty close.
Good question. So, I would have actually guessed younger. Because they were Mad TV. No, never mind. They're old.
Yeah.
They were Mad TV. That Mad TV was.
Yeah, come on.
Mad TV was legit.
Keegan-Michael Key is 52 years old.
He's 52?
So he's around your age. Jordan Peele is only 44, more around my age.
Okay, well, you know what? Keegan-Michael Key looks fantastic for his age because they look like they're about the same
52.
age. They look like they're the same age.
I would have not. That's great.
And I haven't seen the new Jordan Peele. I'm looking forward to it. Apparently, it is pretty good.
The new Jordan Peele.
No, he's got another horror film called.
He has Nope.
No, but he has Nope. That's the newest one. That was the third one. I still haven't seen that. It looks pretty good. Right. All right.
I heard if you were trying to see it, the answer was nope. I heard it wasn't that great. Okay.
Fair enough.
So you know what's a yup though?
Money.
This name right here, a softie, went into the 30s. We'll take that. I'm gonna take a fill here at 20 if I can get it. We have more. Yes, sir. We have more bullets to fire right now, but I'm gonna go diamond hands on that one because we just took 80 cents on this. Like this is what I'm talking about. We're very quietly you know, getting some wins here that are sort of starting to stack up. Like, you know, you might not notice, but that's like a 50 long out right there, 20s. That's 70 cents. Sure, we've lost 70 cents many times. But, you know, even like this meta trade starting to creep up a little bit again, right? So, like, we just got a nice fill right there at 80, 85 right there off of this 54. That's 30 cents, right? So although the market isn't rallying, we're doing our best here to figure out, you know, and get out of some of these problem child areas. Shout out to Jake Paul. Wasn't Jake Paul supposed to fight Nate Diaz, and then that idiot choked out somebody on the in
Something
public
like that.
there? Now he has an arrest warrant out for himself. Way to go, Nate! You're about to get the largest payday you've. And maybe he's not fighting Nate Diaz, but Jake Paul was about to pay you, and now all of a sudden you can talk to your cellmate there and figure out what exactly he's going to pay you with. I bet you it's not the same thing.
It's not the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always find it's always like a sad story. Like when someone's about to get like you have like a huge moment, and then like that's the time when you do it. The biggest one that comes to mind is Len Bias. That's the basketball one.
Yeah.
He was a basketball player, man. He was. If you ever look it up, the guy was the next Dominique Wilkins. And he went like 3 in the draft, and then he OD'd, like literally. And he was apparently was like all good kid, never used drugs, and he celebrated that one night, and that's all it takes.
I mean, I have to say also, like if you're an MMA fighter,
well,
I get that there is sometimes maybe determining, you know, between real life and inside the ring there. I mean, you got to watch what you're doing.
Take some hits
for sure.
They take some hits. A couple of things here. One.
Yep.
Alphabet. I wasn't gonna reload it, but it just wicked the 104.5. So 104.50, it just wicked that bottom, got to 45. Now, this is why I don't like even dollar stops, right? The second it did that, I'm like, okay, it's back above. That's it holding the low when we're above 4,100 on the ES, so we're holding that support level. I know it's still a 5-handle range. That's all it is. That's all you can do. So I jump back into it. I love wick tops. Wick off is its own charting term, so wick tops and wick bottoms. That is a wick beneath that zone. It's a bounce. Let's see if we can get some back into the upside. Tesla's doing Tesla things. I'm going to close that FRC bet. It's now underneath $9. I'll close that bet in like 5 or 10 minutes or so. Get your chance to get that free money back in because it getting above and closing above 950 seems a little bit unlucky. Andy Frisella saying that they were at Maryland when Len Bias died, and he was a great kid. I remember watching like one of those like documentary things on him, and that was one of the saddest sports stories ever. Like guys like Michael Jordan have talked about how great he was, and he was just right there. And he was going to the Celtics too. He was going to the Celtics in the 80s, and he was as good as Dominique Wilkins, if not better. People compared him like Dominique, Clyde Drexler. Yeah, it's kind of sad, man. There's always those what-ifs. Let's go to Brendan at the desk.
Go Google.
Hey guys, just reading a note here from S3 Partners on FRC, still hovering around this low right now, sitting at 9,890. But this was from S3 Partners coming out a little bit earlier on today. But in the past 30 days, this rose by $389 million to $945.5 million. So that's a short interest in FRC over the past 30 days. Obviously, with what has transpired, you can obviously know why, but that puts a number on it at least, guys.
There we go.
So, all right, we were fooling around with the audio there, so we did miss the majority of that, but there was definitely some FRC.
All I heard was now
news.
profitable shorts.
That's okay. 880. What sucks about this? Look at this trade right there. Look where FRC went to, man. We just got taken out. This is not the first time that this has happened, Mahad. This is not the first time this happened right here to 980 right there. We got stopped out again. Look at FRC right now taking down the lows. So that's pretty ugly. We're still up on FRC today because like every single time, it's like what we lose there, like this short is 62, that out is 80. So that take right there is 25. So it's like make 40 cents, lose 20, but there's the big trade. Right back down there to the day's low. We did short that and got out right there, so that was a good one. And then earlier on in FRC today, we wrote this down as a potential to break open, but there's a lot of new news here coming out today on FRC. Will it halt again? I mean, it looks like it could. I'm surprised we didn't get a halt there, but I didn't do the math, so maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. So right now, if you can break below this 850, that's 840. I'd say watch out for that, man. This was just because we had some chaos there once we halted.
Chaos of the mind, man.
Yeah, 847 right there again. So yeah, watch out for this FRC bouncing around. It's only 314. Some of these moves are rallying back. Just like you might have heard us say, let's go Google. I got 3 out of 30% of this as we got that bottom there at 50. Bottom, who knows? But we definitely have that bottom right there on Google. I know you talked about that and you just got that as well. What was the bet again? It's closing right now.
Oh man, it's 950. It's at closing 950 or above or below. And at this point, like, it's just quadunking again. So
FRC?
I'm literally I said I closed at 315.
That's a fair bet.
I'm closing it now. It was really tight. It was bouncing back and forth like 920 to 970 or something like that when I put it on. And then by the time I finished talking about it, it was at $9. But a couple of things. I'm out of Coinbase. Coinbase retraced all the way to VWAP, but it's trending, bounced off 55 here. So I'm out of coin. It's weird. I'm in 2 longs, and Tesla's one of them. Hey, where's my Tesla? Oh, give me a break. Oh, as if. Like, that's not even I'm bidding 93. Like, that's like a random price, and it's still bouncing off. That doesn't even make any sense. So Tesla kind of bouncing there off VWAP. I didn't really cash that, but I am now out of Coinbase short. If it gets back up to 56, I'll be back into Coinbase. The next push down, maybe I'll try to get some Tesla, but it's still an inside day here. You already talked about Alphabet. I did get some more off that bottom. Once it gets back into like the 60s, 70s, I think it's worth rinsing and repeating. Amazon. That's another thing here. Amazon, that little push that it's still holding higher lows here. Amazon's one that it's so far down, they're not reporting tonight. Like, you could see a bit of a relief rally. This is the type of area where sometimes if you're holding these lows and the imbalance comes the right way for a stock like this, you get that push into VWAP, and it's got $1. And like, that whole notion of just being, like, having a bracket order or something, and if it breaks out of a tight consolidation, like a 20-cent range, and it breaks out, that could be solid. I'm not in it. I think I want to focus on Google, which is bouncing off those lows. I'm going to hold Intel either till it breaks. I think it's like 29.12 or 13 is my stop, and or 350, like one of the two. And whatever happens, I want to be sitting in this one. Let's go to Brendan.
Big pop on ATVI here, guys. The New York Post reporting that Microsoft is preparing to close this deal finally. So again, New York Post article just released there suggesting that this could be a done deal.
And it's pulling back to 86?
I don't know. I'm in Microsoft.
I trust you, Brendan.
Yeah. Microsoft preparing to close Activision deal. That's what it literally says. So I think that that's probably worth it right there. Now, I don't know what that means for Microsoft right now because that's going to pull down. I always thought that they paid way too much for ATVI, but if it's closing, it's closing. It might be, maybe it's decent news for Softy. We'll try the long here just real quick just to see what happens on this. We do have our target for Microsoft to get out if it does break too much lower. We did get out of some meta there on that news, but we just bought it right back up. It flushed down through 40, and I bought 40 again. We're going to give it to 25 here on meta, but right now that's what we're in here, and we just bought some more Microsoft. We ruined our average price, of course, but right now we're going to wait to see what happens here, giving it to this bottom of 276 for Softy. So that's what we have right now. It'll be a little bit of a hit if it does come down. I do want to average back in if it comes into 40s again, though. So that's Softy down to 276 and change.
So ATVI is at $86. The deal's 95. So like if they're preparing to close it, when are they preparing to close it? Next year? Like, if it's closing in the next 2 quarters, I mean, that's not bad. But either way, like, I did the pullback. It pulled back. It broke 86, came back above. I just missed getting some out of 30. I'm going to try buying in front of this 86 bottom. Like, 85, 95 is the bottom there where it made the reversal. So I'm going to try buying that dip on ATVI. This could be a trade tomorrow as well because 85 has been a good zone for the stock. This is what it looks like at 85. This is not that much of a move. If this is a really material change in the odds that this deal is going through. That's not much of a move at all. 85 is already support on the daily, and we're only bouncing off 86 here. So I'm looking for the 86 long. The fact that it can't reclaim the previous high is never good. That's why I'm offering 86.30. But this could be one into the close for me here, especially if 86 holds.
All right, so back on the upside here goes Meta. Man, it's going to be a positive name for us today. Meta, we've just been buying these dips, trying to get out here as it continues to go up. We only started trading Meta right now as it's trying to go back up to the upside. Let's just check in on FRC. I know there's a lot of people interested in that name, so we'll just go over here. I've already clicked on it, so there it is right there, $9. So it does go back up. That's what I was saying. I think that $9.50, I didn't get my bet in. I probably would have bet above. So we'll look to see what happens right now.
Where is it?
It's 9 right now,
okay.
so I think it settles above 950 today. But right there, 9. I mean, that bottom is 880 right there for FRC. We've met it a couple times. It just takes one bump up, and you're at 950 anyways. So we'll wait to see what happens here with FRC as it's still trying to figure itself out. All right, we do got a bigger position now in Meta because it just came, or sorry, in Google because it just came back down. So what we've done is just reload it out. Like, look at these outs, like 60s, outs O's, out 90s, 80s. There we go, 50s, out in the 60s again, and then another 50, and we just got a 60 right there. But hoping that Google can get going back up there. There's only 30 minutes left until the imbalances, and then again, we get earnings almost immediately at 4 o'clock. Neil and I, if you're just watching the show for the first time, have to be flat at the end of every single day. So we will not be holding out for the dream, but if you are, then perhaps you are Hakeem Olajuwon, who is the dream Hakeem Olajuwon. There.
Underrated.
Probably the best Raptor, technically to ever play for us, but he was for one season.
Technically is
games,
correct.
Or I don't know even how many games he even played there as well. But I would say it probably goes to Vince Carter, Kawhi Leonard. Again, if we're going to use that same example with not playing too much. But
you know what I'll say
the
though?
Longevity, Lowry, Carter, T-Mac.
But I'm a special shout out for all the Raptor legends to DeMar DeRozan.
Yes,
because DeMar DeRozan is the only star that played for the Raptors that really, really wanted to stay the whole time. You can't say that about any of the other stars that played for the Raptors, that they were he was all in, that he wanted to stay, and he ended up getting traded, they won a championship.
Compton.
That's gotta hurt, man. USC, Compton.
Compton,
USC.
stand up.
Not that I'm a big USC fan. A certain famous Buffalo Bill was a Trojan, but apparently I'm not supposed to be a fan of him anymore.
Who, OJ?
Yeah, Juice went to USC.
I don't see the problem with being a fan of him as a football player.
Yeah, you got to separate these.
It's like if
the Juice was absurd on the football.
Yes, I mean
absurd.
OJ and the Electric Company. I mean, come on,
he was legit.
Those of you that watch football know what we're talking about. Obviously,
Mighty Mouse in the house.
Damon Stoudemire, longevity was here a couple of years. Didn't really.
That one win against
Rookie of the Year.
That one win against the Bulls. Remember the Bulls had that ridiculous team, they won a bajillion games, and then the Toronto Raptors were not very good at the time, and Mighty Mouse led them to the victory. I think he crossed up Michael once too.
First ever Raptor.
Rookie of the Year, baby.
Him and Marcus Camby. Camby went to it's Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Abdur-Rahim went to the Grizzlies, and so did they had Big Country Bryant Reeves. You remember that? That was a throwback there for us boomers out here. Those of you that are born in the 50s and 60s, like Neil and I, would know a lot of that stuff. So
I know about some Bob Cousy. How about that?
Yeah, there we go. All of them names. Again, Fahad has no idea who those guys are because. Apparently, if you were an athlete anywhere after before 2010 or whatever, then you don't exist in the world of sports. So.
And then all of your achievements are meaningless. A couple of things here. Silence. ATVI did bounce off 86 again, so I'm just going 80s. I'm Googling VWAP here. It doesn't really matter what VWAP is, but 86.10 into the quarters and 30s has been the bounce play on the stock. It's going back and forth. Google's not really going. But it's giving you some scalp trading here, but it's not really going. So it hasn't really taken out that low. It hasn't really made a move to the upside. I didn't get the Tesla fill, but watch out for. Actually, I want to get to Tesla. I'm no longer bidding here on Tesla. I feel like if it doesn't feel like it wants to go, it's not nearly as strong. Lower again, weaker moves when it bounces off it this time. So I'm not going to be aggressive with Tesla here. I feel like Alphabet's okay, and ATVI's got my attention a little bit there. And look, ATVI is a late mover. I feel like I'll be trading this a bit tomorrow. You guys can watch that because if it holds at 85, 86, and this deal has any chance of closing, it's a huge spread still a huge spread. Can I go over Boeing? I haven't looked at Boeing today. Boeing reports.
No, you cannot.
Is it tomorrow morning or is it after? It's the morning.
Morning.
Yeah, so they're in the morning. Yeah, they're usually in the morning. It's been a bit of a, It's been a bit of a dog. This is the issue with Boeing. The 50 period, it has not been moving much inside of this range, but the 50 period did get reclaimed to the downside. It's been great above 195, but here's the problem with talking about earnings. Do the technicals matter? If it's bad enough, it's just going to blow through 195 anyways. So I'm going to sit there and tell you that if it's a good report, then 195 support looks good, but if it's a good report, you're not going to get that price. I always feel like you want to come in, understand that if it's breaking out big highs, that's been an opportunity in this market, but that doesn't seem like it's in the cards for Boeing. All we're going to care about is where the orders stand, because they've had good news, bad news multiple times in this range that is yet to break out the range. So if we don't break out the range, I'm not trading it tomorrow, unless I'm buying the low or shorting the high. I want this breaking out the range. This has been ridiculous. You've had more orders, fine. No, we're having a problem with one of our suppliers. We have to slow down. And it's still not going anywhere above 220 or beneath 195. That's a nothing burger for me as a day trader. Like, you want to see this do something. And quite frankly, unless we see it flushing 95s or the big breakout, this is going to be a new do not trade zone for me. ATVI is back here. Sorry, guys. Now it's challenging that 86 again. I feel like I got a little bit overzealous with this, because to me, if they're gearing up to have a positive chance of closing this, it's a 95 deal. I would have expected a little bit more than this. I'm going to reload it one more time. We'll see what happens. It's now 325. I keep waiting for the day that this makes the charge to 90 bucks. And I've been waiting around for it over and over again. It bounced off 85, bounced off 86. Every single time there's good news, it goes $1 and then stops. So clearly, it's just not juicy enough here, and the regulators must still have some other reasons for holding this deal up, because every time I think this is going to be good, it just makes a small move and then nothing.
Yeah, so I just, I just tweeted this out, and it's all good, but ultimately we're going to be pretty jealous of this right here. So here it is right here, with Microsoft preparing to close the Activision deal. Berkshire is set to receive $5 billion. Right there. So come on.
He went hard long.
Buy the dip, man. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. He told us to buy the dip. What's out to this? Whoever's
he got it in the 70s.
Right there. So there it is right there, man. Wow. Good risk and reward there for Berkshire. So you guys can BRK.B.
You think, but here's the thing. He has so much experience that he probably knows people who understand this process much better. Whether or not they tell him anything,
probably.
But they know people that understand the process, right? So, like, I always look at the price action to tell me the probability on the deal. Like, I have no insight as to what these different regulators, and it's like multiple regulators out there. But he's got this in the 70s, so he's laughing at this point no matter what, and that's why Uncle Warren is Uncle Warren. But the market's falling. I'm not reloading Google here. It's about to break the low. I guess that means, okay, so Tesla just came out. Alphabet's about to come out. These bounces have been okay, but that just came out as well. So that's it. That's one. That's two. ATVI might not care what the market does. I'm kind of hoping it. And I said this is what it was going to be like on Intel. I'm just sitting in this. I'm just sitting in it. Little nibbles. Every time it would wick a top, I'd add to it. But I'm not doing anything till it hits the low of the day. This is going to be a binary trade for me because it's underneath the 50-period moving average. I want to get this one into the imbalances.
Oh, crap, the imbalances.
Not the 52. Sorry, the 50-period moving average. Did I say 52-period moving average?
Interesting SMA
there.
there.
50-period moving average on the daily, right at that 29. I've been short at this price basically all afternoon, looking for a flush, essentially risking it up past that 10-12 area just to see if we can have a flush in Intel for the entire day. And I want to see this breaking into the low 90s and breaking into the 80s and 70s. Probably has to be one of those end of the day plays. So it's going to be ATVI and Intel for me because everything else has come out off the board. And ATVI is more of a scalp play at this point. Terra Engineering, my lifetime goal is to buy one Class A share of Berkshire. I got no issues with that goal. That's a good goal to have. And ultimately, we're going to go to Brennan. We'll come back. I was going to tell, it's fine. It's not even that good of a story about Berkshire. Let's go to Brennan.
FRC and how the government is apparently they're expecting, the big banks are expecting the government to take over receivership at any time, essentially, according to a few of these quotes that's coming from Charles Gasparino over at Fox. So more suggestions that where there's smoke, there's fire. This could be nowhere near the end. Again, expect eventual government receivership for the failing bank. at some times, guys, for FRC.
Oh, FRC, yeah, 876 right now, continuing to go down.
Yeah, I guess it's going under.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we'll see, man. That Charles Gasparino misquoted something else a while ago. What was it? There was something that he said. Was it an AMC something?
It was something.
Oh, it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was Amazon and AMC. Remember, it came. I think it was just misinterpreted.
It was the Amazon looking to buy.
Yeah,
some of the
and it was like,
AMC
oh, FYI,
theaters.
they've been looking to do this for a long time and all that kind of stuff. But this is an interesting one there on FRC, and I think Brendan nailed it on the head there. When there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, and that's what it's all about. So here we go. It looks like FRC will halt at some point right now. Still making moves to the downside, and there it is. Yeah. I mean, you could try to get short, you know, if you can get short on that. I'm going to try right now. There it is. We are short. We just got short right there. So we are short FRC right now at 71. As there it is. We'll take a 66 bid. I don't know where this thing's going to halt. We'll take a 62. We'll take a 63. We'll take a 64. There it is. Let's keep going to the downside. A quick little 10 cents here. I want to hold this in case there is a disaster looming here for FRC. And disaster looming, it seems like there is a disaster
it's already
right now.
A disaster.
The house is on fire at First Republic. So there it is. We got that short right there. The seller that was there has stopped or got filled. So this may halt the move down for a little bit here because it doesn't seem like there's too much of a seller. But we're short at 71. We just took some profits there, about as clean as it could be on FRC. We got 66s, we got 60s, and we got a 58 in there as well. So let's see FRC dancing a little bit. I've gotten stopped out at horrible prices, but I'm going to use 9 as a price right here. 9.10 as a stop here on FRC. Microsoft, man, we got taken out right there. We got, yes sir, we got right back into Microsoft, and that's starting to pop upside a little bit here as well.
Just a couple of things. I did get that last little pop in ATVI, so thank you very much. It keeps bouncing off 86. A little bit late to the news, obviously, but the pullback is holding that support at 86 even. It keeps bouncing off the previous high. That's 86.35, so you're playing inside this 37 range. I am holding on to some just in case it goes a little bit higher, but because anything can happen, right? Like this is a stock that you could easily just sort of float up higher. The reason why you get spreads like this on deals, there's a lot of betting that goes on in the option world when it comes to probability of these deals closing. So you will have some shorts that are covering in moves like this. So it's always a thing. You're going to definitely have some people that are offside, maybe not as many as before, but that's probably the reason for the pop. FRC, I mean, it's the house being on fire. It's ugly. Actually, it was Pac W. I keep meaning to get over to Pac W. These guys are reporting after market. They're holding $10 right now. I know these are different. Obviously, different banks are going to have a different story, but you're going to want to see that deposit situation, which is, we knew the last update they gave was a heck of a lot better than FRC. But yeah, any chink in the armor, or kink in the armor, oh goodness, is going to be pretty ugly for Pac B. It's holding up nicely relative to what happened before. This is one that I expect to be sitting down tomorrow morning, and maybe the first or second stock I look at will be Pac W. Let's see how it does at the close.
Yeah, so we actually are just like making some money right now on this move for Microsoft, man. I mean, we bought that dip right there into the 30s. I mean, it was the day's low. Sometimes it is this easy. You know, news be damned. It doesn't. It's not, this ATVI news hasn't affected Microsoft whatsoever. I've been watching it this whole time. When the market falls, it goes down. When the market rips, it goes up. So not really affecting anything in this deal right now, but we are long Microsoft. And again, we're just like really sly on this, man. Like this is another 30-cent winner that we have on board right now. So I feel pretty good about this. We did get an out at 53 on FRC right there. Isn't that the low of the day? No, we already have that best fill right down there, 40s. So we can even get lower, man. I'm going to put another bid right here at 30 on FRC. We may get taken out. I told you if this goes down to $9, we'll look to get out of or up to $9. We will get out of FRC for right now. We'll go back into the 30s. So it's been a good trade, man. 72s, out 20s. You know, and we're out of 60% of it. So we're holding that last little bit. Let's see what happens here into the close. We have the imbalances coming. Brendan just gave it to us. It's a whopping $67 million to buy. So that's nothing right there. At Google, we got right back in, and thank God we did, because this is what pisses me off the most, is, you know, getting out and possibly picking wrong levels or something. But I don't know if Google's going to work or not, but we're going to get out at 55. There it is. Yes, sir. So we get out at 40. because I like that level. Why did we like that level of 40? It was just back into here. This was actually 67s, and then some of this, that's 54s, but it's these little wicks right there. That's 40 right here. So when that broke, we got out, and then it just held it. Now it's yes, sir, ripping right back up to the upside. Yes. So a little small hit there on Google. Now make that money back in spades, as Microsoft's now 50 cents in the money. Google's now 17 cents, and FRC kind of cruising right now back down into the 50s again.
And this is for the GOAT himself. That's Brennan. He brought you guys the ATVI news. Now maybe, I got accused of poor delivery on the FRC news in the midday show, but Brennan, as professional as he was, kept it nice and calm, and it bounced off 86 here. If it gets to the high of the day, I'm going to get out. A lot of times, if sellers came in above that or in front of that 87, I can expect the same thing to happen again. I don't know if we have enough time for a reload, meaning it might not actually get back there. Actually, I want something in the 80s instead, so let me just, there we go. So just if it gets back down to 86, there's still enough time for me to take this one more time. But as we get closer to 350, I probably won't put a reload on if it's going to be at or after 350. We'll wait around, but we still have a chance for it.
Tanking.
One time we got it. Oh, Google's still tanking. I didn't get back into Alphabet, but it is now back at the low. I got out of Dodge when it double tapped that bottom there. Lower highs all the way through, and it just continues to be a bit of a dog. So thankfully we got that ATVI because late news was good. I was considering a coin reload. It got real close to that 56 again, but not quite. Like, it's just the risk to reward isn't quite there, and we're kind of running out of time. One little push up, and maybe we can get that 56 even again, like 55.90, something along those lines. Right now, the risk to reward doesn't really favor it, especially with not a lot of time left on the clock.
All right, yeah. What? Like, again, yeah, see, like there, that fill did not work again. So, all right. My stop for Google was supposed to be 104.38. Does not fill, so there is the downside move. As I told you, sometimes this new order does not work all the time, but there it is. It's a nice move to the downside right here for Google. We should have got out right there at 40, but again, because we were able to get something out up here, it's not the end of the world. Let me just take a piece out now at 25. Nah, it looks like it wants to go lower than that. 24 right there. That sucks. We should have been out of this already, but we are not. Let's just watch out for 104. We just got another piece out. Oh, wow. This is really coming in right now on earnings. I told you, like, Google's tanking. Watch out. Ooh. That's where we should have had that out again. I thought I found a button that I liked, but it doesn't, for me, it doesn't.
I got to update something.
That well, 104.45. Yep.
I'm not taking Coinbase short. And someone pointed out that the move in coin, what was happening in Bitcoin, the way it was bouncing. Flat. And quite frankly, like, I do have my Binance chart up, and you're seeing how it's kind of freezing there. It was legit frozen. It's not the first time that's actually happened to me, and I tracked this way. It was legit frozen. I actually didn't even see that we were bouncing, quite frankly. So thank you guys very much. You are bouncing kind of off support after that pullback on Bitcoin. It's really not the best time to put the short on. And again, it doesn't mean that it's not going to reject 56. That trade could still work. It's just that that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to go short as you're bouncing off support in Bitcoin. So I'm gonna pull it back and not even care about it. Intel's not really doing anything, guys. So, and again, I would dwell on it if it mattered. That's coin. Whoops. There's Intel. It goes above. I get shorts when it gets to top, and I kind of am getting out when it gets to bottom only because I have to. This is just a zone I want to be in the short on the stock. And if it's here tomorrow, I'm going to short it again. And if it's there the next day, I'm going to short it again. If and when until it breaks away from the 50 period and stops me, or just Huadunks back down to like the 28 range. It's just, I'm going to be there for the short. Ever since it rolled back over off that breakout, 25, it turned into a long, and once it flushed down 32s, I've been just looking for the short, looking for the short, looking for the short. So I'm going to be in it every single chance I get. It just happens to not, like, what is it, 3 cents in the money right now? But I'll be in it tomorrow if it's at the same level. It just feel like this is one I want to be in. And yes, you're absolutely right, AG Monster.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Hit the like, hit subscribe. It's been an unbelievable day. I actually think we're having a lot of success with the new format for the midday. It's a lot of fun to do. We come on with myself and Sharif, and then you get a little Fahad action. You get some teaching action. You had the bangs. Oh, I don't have a bang key anymore. Over there, I have the bang button, by the way. which is a lot of fun. But you got the banks. FRC was wild. Sean was all over that one. It's a lot of fun for us to do, but we are doing it for free for you guys. All we ask is hit the like, hit the subscribe. Randy's not a happy guy. You see, he doesn't come around here when we don't get the likes. You know, he's a busy guy, but he likes to hang out when it's a fun show, and we like try to give it to you guys. I have no idea what happened to our bull and what'd you do to the bull and bear, dude?
I don't know. You brought it over there on the Midday
I
show.
didn't.
It had nothing to do with me. Probably Randy did. Stop saying Randy's busy. Okay, so right now
he's very busy, Sean. I don't know what he's doing, but he's very busy.
All right, Microsoft fell down, so there it is, nice little move downside, and like I said, man, the market is breaking right now, so this is a good thing we were able to get out. There goes Microsoft back down to that downside one more time. FRC, man, well traded today.
Oh my God.
Now it's back into the 40s. We did get that 40 fill. And then I took another one at 53 there, and now it's straight to the downside. We do have our out at $9, but I don't know if that's going to matter right now. FRC to the downside. We've been short and long, but primarily short today. And there it is again, another fill. My number one stock today is FRC, as that is going to the downside. So that's a good one. Yeah, man, make sure you do hit that like button for sure. Oh, it sucks that we missed that out on Google, but I do want to give it to 104. I think just on earnings, this is what it looks like on the 20-minute chart again. You know, we've come into this 104 level a couple times. It was here in the pre-market back on the 20th, and then we hit the 104 and then just ripped up to 106 after that. Obviously, with news coming out in 30 minutes or so after 4 o'clock, then Google could, you know, have a much different look tomorrow than it does today. Actually, you know what? I didn't look out here. Let's go over to Options AI right now and try to figure out what exactly Tesla, that's what we were looking at before. GOOGL. And I don't know if it's going to be different for Google or Google, the first one there, but this is Google. Here it is right here. What? No, that must have been Tesla. Okay, now it's loading up right now. So here's Google. Let's go see what the implied move is. So you go to earnings right here and 4.5%. Yeah. So, you know, on $100, that's $4. So we're going to wait to see where Google goes tomorrow. It would make sense if we went up to 105, 108 or back down to 100 with that 4.6% implied move. So that makes sense when you're looking at the chart here for Google, because here's the daily. In 1 second, here's the daily. And there it is, man. The top is, get this going right there. The top right here is 110, 108, 109, which would be that 5% up. And then this bottom back down to 100 is also that 5%. So dead on that one as Google's retracing back upside just a little bit. We just touched 35 there. We're long 36. So let's see if Google can work here into the close.
Yes, sir. And thank you, RLE, with a comment. Love the show every day, but today was top wick, best show I've seen. That's the goal every day. That's the goal for anybody every day. Like, if you wake up wanting today to be a better day than the day before. And if that's not your outlook in life, then that's what you want. That's what I happen to think. And thank you guys so much. But definitely, it's been a good day. I don't see. Sometimes I like it's been top wick. But sometimes I feel like you want, like, bottom wick is what you want. You want the long at the low, right? That's what we call the GOAT bottom wickens. Brendan is bottom wickens because you want the bottom wick. I mean, you don't want to short the bottom wick, but you want to go long that bottom wick. We want up markets. I know that's not what we're getting today, but that is what it is. I only have 2 positions on, one of which is barely moving. The other one, I don't think there was going to be enough time for a reload on this, so I have an offer at the highs on ATVI in case it pops. Otherwise, I'll probably trail it to the quarters. We'll come in tomorrow looking at that 86 level. Maybe there'll be some updates clarifying sort of like where the status of this deal is, because it's a long way from 95 bones, man. A long way from $95. And, you know, obviously you guys can see a 10% still to go for this deal to be able to close. So there might be a big opportunity in the coming weeks.
So the one thing that, there's still, the FTC still not approved.
No, they have not approved it at all. So there's a lot that still has to happen.
Microsoft preparing to close. So that's, I just want to bring, you're on it, so yeah. I know you know about that, so I just wanted to bring that to everyone else's attention as I just read that note one more time there. So just be careful, Well,
I'm not saying go long.
No, exactly.
It's just that every time I say I want to trade it off support and don't trade it off support, I look back and it's like, oh, that last support level was literally free money. And so I feel like that last support level was when it was 84, and I didn't trade it off the last gap, and then it was 85, and I didn't trade it off that one, and now I think it can be 86. So now I want to trade it off the 86 level. That's all I'm getting at. I'm not saying it's going to be a 95 tomorrow. It's just that every time it breaks a consolidation, it provides a new long opportunity.
Oops.
But have it out, as always.
Yeah, exactly. Have your outs and get going in there. As I close the FRC level 2 by accident, but if we come back over to FRC.
Quadunk.
This one is up in smoke. FRC still thinks it's 420 right now because it's in a haze. As you go down to
That's not a haze.
$8. Wow, down 50% is, some people probably.
That's a little worse than that.
A little bit worse than that. Yeah, so there it is right now, breaking through $8, and you know where your boy is short right now. So we are short now 70 cents in the money on FRC with a big boy right there trying to push this thing down. See ya. Whoa! You guys just saw that. There was quite the seller at 10 there on FRC, and you might have. Oh man, we should record that. That was a good one. Fahad, we might have had a lesson right there on level 2 because FRC just went right up to 10s and there was 300,000 shares sitting there. It saw it and just flushed another 10 cents right there. So that was a good one coming back down to the downside. Look at FRC, man. We are really, yes, sir, my #1 name today on this. There it is. It's on. Not only that, it's the #1 name on the sticky note as well. Understand what you're trading, why you're trading it, and that's that. My out's going to be 810 where that playa was. Normally it's 112, but I don't know if this is going to get down to 112. Let's go to 820 or so. Put the stop there.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, you know what?
I don't know, maybe not.
Actually, no, it'll be delisted before it gets to $1.
No, but that means it eventually gets there.
Is that count? I don't know.
Of course
Does
it
that
counts,
count?
right?
Okay.
SIVB is at 60 cents right now.
Oh, yeah.
We could check out SIVB.
Just not on the New York. It could be on the OTC.
Yeah, it could get delisted. SIVBQ again today. Not really moving. You guys can come over here if you're shareholders of this. Maybe you thought that this was going to really get going, but I'm telling you, there are a lot of brokers. If you can come over here, Mahad. There are a lot of brokers maybe that are unable to trade this. We had a few of our guests come through and one big broker come out and talk about this. When you're below $1, and it looks like this, it's very hard to get people to come in here and trade this name. So right now, SIVBQ not really doing too much, but it is FRC that is getting what they used to call in the midday show rugged down to the downside right now. $8 right there. So
that's what happens when you drink Joe Boo's rum.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, maybe you can hit a curveball after you do that. Major League. If you haven't seen that movie, probably not a boomer like me and Neil, but Major League is a great one
using all the
to watch with your loved ones. It's a good family movie.
There's some.
I mean, it's on cable.
Oh yeah, because I guess they bleep it out.
Oh
right?
yeah. Well. Look, if your kids, honestly, I don't care what age your kids are, if they haven't heard the word like SHIT or something like that, then honestly,
I don't remember
you're not
what's in that movie.
parenting your kids properly.
I don't remember what's in that movie
Neither
because there's a few lines like, in my head. There's lines that are probably worse, and I'd probably look back and be like, "Oh, it's not that bad." But whoa, that was a bit of a bounce. What was that?
No, I don't know. I got out at 820 there on
that
FRC.
wasn't that big. It was like a 25-cent bounce on FRC. It just looked bigger than it was. Oh man, wish I had held on to that one. But I've had like the biggest. I've had the biggest like opportunity short terms because I was short the entire way and then in there as well. And it's like quadunk right after I got out of it. Quadunk right after you get out. But I'm not one of those hold it onto it forever kind of guys. Like I'll take my shot at it and that's kind of it. And I had one long in the stock. And I had one long, and that was right on that last halt. Like the last up halt, I took a shot at it, and it just refused to go. I mean, obviously it wasn't a good long, so I'm glad I got out of it. But with 2.5 minutes to go till the imbalances, it's still 67 million to buy. So essentially, it's a nothing burger. Oh, I sorted this. The stocks that are up today on my quote board, Spotify, Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC, Coinbase. I'm laughing because it's like Pepsi is the only quality company up there. No, Spotify's okay. And obviously UVXY. It is not a good day for the markets. I don't have to tell you what's down. It's been a bloodbath.
It's literally a bloodbath. Your favorite stock as well, Pinterest, up today.
Is it really?
Speak of the devil. ATVI as well.
Well, my wife was on Pinterest.
AT&T up today. Other than that, yeah, you're dead right about that.
It is up. Why is Pinterest up today?
I don't know. We'll find out about Pinterest in a minute. But okay, what we've been holding the whole time, man, and let's just go diamond hands on this one. We're now 90 cents in the money here for Apple. So it's a nice move to the downside. Boom, right there. Let's see if Apple takes that low, 163.70. I mean, we're still short that name and have been printing on that as well. So far, so good here with Apple as it's looking like it's going to make a move back in, as the whole market is as well, down to 12.82 right now. Shout out to Dan Emmons and anybody else there that's been holding shorts from yesterday. That was a really, really good call. Needless to say, that dog will hunt.
That'll play.
Yeah,
that'll play.
That'll play. Not like my drives. Most of those won't play. But we'll wait to see now.
Oh, please. You're actually good at golf.
Yeah, I can golf, but I shoot I haven't played golf in a while. We'll see.
We had that comment about best ball because we were talking about best ball.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And there's that other method because there's the other best ball you were telling me about where it's like you have to use.
It was best ball. It was just worded something else. Best ball. What was that thing that we talked about? So basically, okay, first of all, we have the
imbalances are coming. We'll explain that one later. I just got out of ATI, just hit the high, so I'm going to ring the register. Not looking to give horse in the mouth. 86.75, 86 to 75. Thank you very much, Brendan, for that news. Scramble's what it's called.
Good one right there. So I think that's very, very similar to
Otherwise,
best ball.
you never use my ball.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. You got to use someone's drive at least 2 or 3 times on 18 holes. But we are going to do that, man. We're going to go golfing with Fahad, Randy, you, Brendan. We're all going to have a Trader TV Live golf event at some point. I think that would be another
There'll be a lot of Advil on my part
that we could do to build up
community.
Community. Yeah. Okay,
community.
So what's up, community? I didn't watch that show ever. Community, by the way.
It's funny.
Is it? Yeah, that might be something to watch again. I got to get on Succession. Okay, there's Pinterest. Isn't that funny that that's a sell?
What are the odds?
You know why? Because they're listening to us, and then they said, "Wait a second, Pinterest is
up. I gotta dump that.
We gotta dump that right there. There's Apple.
That's not good.
Apple with a milli, with that nice little sell right there.
Softy.
Amazon sell. Holy crap, Brendan! This is gonna be a big one. I feel like. To that downside, I'm gonna go with 1.6 billion. Let's see what he says. I was about $1 billion off, 650 to sell right now, but okay. Okay, I thought it would have been bigger. Google's there. Everything's here. Like Bank of America. I don't know. Something's saving this underneath because I don't see why that's that number. Remember, I still don't know if that number Brendan's giving us is only NYSE.
It is only NYSE.
Right, so I've talked about that before on the show. That would make sense. So that's a nothing burger then because to me, it's a big-time downside move that we just saw in those imbalances.
Yeah, so I'm just in one thing. Look, obviously that's not an imbalance or anything at a level that I really like. The market's trying to bounce off here. We'll see if it's able to. I don't know. I think the one to watch into the close might be, like obviously FRC, but that PAC W, man. Just given what happened in FRC, and I can't stress this enough. Do not trade those regional banks to the long side without a stop. That just don't do it because when the FRC news hit in the middle of the day, I was long PAC W. And as a matter of fact, I had just reloaded it at VWAP. I had just gotten back in, and that stop, it saves you because if you're sitting there like I'm going to manage it manually, no, by the time you're trying to manage it, you've already lost another at least 1%, if not more. This went SSR and bounced, by the way. Like it bounced pretty much exactly off 10% down. So it's got a support level. They're going to report. Hopefully it's not as bad because no one actually wants to see these things get rugged. It's not fun. But WAL, this is the story potentially for tomorrow and why PAC W can be good. Because you already saw this play out with Western Alliance, right? Like they came out, actually had solid earnings. They had made a higher low, stabilized a little bit, and then broke out and gave you a nice, I think it was like maybe like 15% move or something like that on that first day and then continued the second day. That's what I want to see happen over in PAC W, but you got to wait till the numbers come out. Because at the end of the day, it was disappointing deposit numbers. We would have wanted to see it be an upside surprise in FRC, but you got to trade what the market gives you. I want it to be long side on PAC W, but that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen.
All right, BTC is actually going up. People are talking about, and again, you just talked about having a stop order. I mean, that's exactly why. I mean, unbelievable. Our stop order was 20. We got out at 24 when it wicked up to 40. So, like, if that move keeps on going, it's looking like, okay, you got out for flat, basically. But, if that move keeps on going, that is the benefit of having a stop order. And so whatever, man, we'll take 90 cents on that. Let's just cancel everything else. I don't have any other trades other than Google or Apple, so that's all good. Apple is making a move. Now again back to the upside, but wow, we just got all the way down to 163 there, 163.70, giving us a full dollar in the money. Google, we took advantage of that. We're very, very light on that move. We just came back up again. Buy that dip into the 20s, get it out back in the 40s. We got a 50 fill there, or close enough, 46 fill, sorry, right there on Google. So now we'll watch to see if that takes out 04 or O's, I guess, is my out. Right here, I'm just making sure I have the right outs to come through here, because at 55, we are going to get an update on that number, and it could go the other way. But okay, let's see if this works. It didn't stop me out in my last Google trade. Let's see if this works. If it comes down to 104 break, then we're out on that. And then our Apple trade, we have a buy area for Apple. I don't have which is down here. I don't have an area to get out up here. So I'm just going to put a bid down. I mean, we're trying to take 164. I'm going to put one right down here again for Apple. And again, there's the short. So we flipped up the script on Apple. We were long, long, long. We took that 165. So we just went short. We went short 165, 165 again. And that's why we're down at 164, taking that full dollar now. Or close enough. We're short at 72 on this fill. These ones were 65. That one is 70. We took on the midday show. Okay, so yeah, you're bouncing around right now. At 55, I'm most likely going to get out anyways. So let's wait to see what 164.15 is going to hit coming out, and then we have Google. So only 2 positions, and you're only short.
I got out of everything. I got the top on ATVI there. I got out of that Coinbase. We never really reloaded it. I probably could have jumped back into Coinbase. You're probably right about that. Those that were saying short that 56. I could have jumped back in 55.80 and it would have been okay. I'm going to be watching PACW and obviously Alphabet going into the close. We don't know exactly what time they report, but yeah, I'm not sure. Usually what time Google reports there, but it is. I think Brad just said 4 o'clock. I know one of these usually comes right at 4 o'clock. That's not a guarantee. If they happen to, we'll get on those numbers, but it's going to be ridiculous. Someone had asked a question, and I totally forgot to answer it, about would you trade it in the aftermarket on the earnings? No. That's it. No.
No, we talked about that last week, and it's just there's no liquidity.
To each their own, man. I'll tell this. I remember watching Qualcomm one day. And Qualcomm had a big beat, guide was good, everything was fantastic about the stock, and 100% somebody fat-fingered something, and they drove the stock from green to red, chasing it on. They just got caught, and they drove the stock to go red because they were chasing the move when it was good earnings. That's how illiquid it is. The market had loved the move. It was cruising to the upside, and it reversed anyways. I still have that stupid Intel, so it has flushed a little bit, but now we're running out of time. At 3:55, I just have to get out where it is. It's not going to make a bigger flush, so that's how it's going to be. I'm not saying there aren't trades out there. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just saying I will not be the person doing it. Because if you can structure a trade, fine, good for you. It's not my cup of tea. I'll stay in my lane. Trading those types of flash moves, it's a different story when the market is open. In the aftermarket, is a totally different ballgame. Your level of risk is an order of magnitude different from what you're used to. End of story. And I like to be able to structure the trade. So if I can't figure it, I'm not going to do it.
All right, let's pay attention to what exactly is happening here. We only have a couple more minutes until it's gone. And yeah, for sure, man, it's a liquidity crunch at the close, and you do not want to be long anything against that fill, because we saw Netflix go down $30 and then retrace right back up about $25. So
exactly.
How many shares do you think is worth the risk on a move like that? Okay, so right there, we just got Apple at 163.90, so that's a great fill for us. 80 cents on the last piece. We can cancel all of our stop orders. Now we just have Google at 104.04 right now. We're going to get out if this takes out 90, which it's going to do in just a second. This Google long today was not a very good trade. But let's go over to Brendan. We're going to get out of this in a second, so that will flash through there. We're taking the last 15 cents worth of risk in case it got bought up. There it is. Doesn't look like it wants to. See you later on Google there at the end of the day. So, okay, Brendan, let's go over those earnings board again.
Let's make it official here, guys. There are a few other notable names outside of big tech. Here's what's coming tonight after the close and before the open tomorrow.
Look, you get some. We always talk about bellwethers, right? And you're going to get a couple of them. Like Visa is going to be a big deal. Like we always want to see. Look, how are the shippers doing? How is transportation doing? You saw UPS, but how is Visa going to be doing? And credit cards. And look, Boeing as well in the morning. Yes, Microsoft, Alphabet, zero question. That's where everyone's going to be laser focused. Texas Instruments is another one that could be interesting. So that's where it's at. Obviously, Pacific West. That has every chance to be a multiple halt style trade up or down, either direction. And the only number anyone's going to care about, quite frankly, is going to be their deposit situation. How much has that stabilized? That's all anybody wants to hear, because last I checked, FRC, they beat on the top and bottom lines. That literally made no difference today, and it never was going to. So PACW, let's see where the deposits stand. Can they beat the expectations there is all that matters.
So the NASDAQ 100 companies are huge today because we've got Apple, we've got Apple's the #1. But if we break this down, I was actually looking for a percent change in all of this for the leaders in that group. But we'll talk about it anyways. I don't have the top 10 holdings right now, but Google, I believe, is #4, and Microsoft is #2 or 1, depending on the day that you look at it, based off Apple. So anyways, FRC right now back down to $8. So we're going to get a big move in the NASDAQ after hours for sure. So you can just watch that and see what happens. As Microsoft today, just to double check it out right now, Microsoft down 2%, Google down 2% as well. Apple down. I mean, Apple's going to follow the market. Oh, Apple's a little bit better than the market today, which is good. We actually wrote down that we like the Apple long off 164. They're only getting there right now. This is going to be a key level tomorrow, depending on what these earnings do. Right here, Fahad.
Less than a minute to the bell.
Fahad, you want to ring the bell? Where's Katrine? I did not message her in enough time to get over here. So
she'll be out here on the floor soon, right quick.
Yeah, that'll be
right
an easy one for sure to
but
get
with
her
30 seconds to go, this market, I feel like we know how that bet's going to close, FRC.
I'm tired.
You know what's up. It's going to be to the downside. But with 20 seconds, it's a monster earnings day. Man, Tesla's still flushing. Everything I'm looking at, with the exception of ATVI, is pretty much at the low of the day and still going. So got to get this market closed so we don't fall any further at this particular point. Fahad in 5, 4, 3, 2, and... That was good. No, that was good. That was actually good for a bit.
Dude is lucky that thing didn't hit the bell and
because
back.
Well, that would have been a nice little blooper reel for us.
He probably has enough hand-eye coordination to catch that thing in midair, no problem, before that hits his face. But
does he though?
Okay, let's go to Brendan quickly in case something does pop through. We have Microsoft and Google. We'll be watching out for those guys.
We're supposed to get Google here any second now, guys, so let's get through this pretty quick. Pretty red, as we were saying, top to bottom here on this board. It's the Russell 2000, where FRC is housed. That's the worst off. 2.3, but better part of 2% there at the end of it all. For the NASDAQ composite, guys, pretty ugly, but yeah, we'll keep an eye out here for Google.
Yeah, I have Google and Microsoft. Google closes the day at 103.70, so we'll be able to see where that goes from now. And then Microsoft right now at 275.50. So if we do get something, we will watch it and bring it out to you. But yeah, these earnings are incoming right now, the two biggest, I think, there. I do like your call on Visa because I think that, you want to know what the retail landscape looks like. And there's Microsoft is out. Microsoft, I don't know if it's out or not. Just popped to 280.
It just popped, though.
Microsoft is printing 281 right now. Microsoft was down to 275. Holy, there we go. Microsoft, the NASDAQ also battling back. This is what I'm talking about how stupid it would be to trade after hours. Like, that just went to 282, then flashed down to 277. Now you're back up there. And look, if you use less shares, it's fine.
Top and bottom beat.
Top and bottom beat for Microsoft. Hola.
Personal computing beat by a Billy.
Yes, that's going to be
cloud
good for Intel.
beats by slight beat for cloud. I mean, everything looks so far. Everything coming through looks pretty good for them. I don't see anything on Alphabet. No,
they got 17.5 billion for 17.1.
Yeah, Alphabet looks like it's coming down, but not a lot of volume. So I'm not sure Alphabet's even out yet.
Alphabet's a risk because there's a lot about that company, man. They're in so many different things. And again, here comes Alphabet. Alphabet's worse.
Now it's down.
Alphabet's moving to the downside here, so maybe Microsoft overtakes my portfolio there today. But Alphabet only moving down $1. Doesn't seem like it's that bad. The fear for Alphabet. There it goes, Alphabet. Right back up to the upside right there.
Quadunk.
So this is what I'm talking about. You want to trade those earnings? Good luck. But there it is, man. Alphabet.
That's your obituary if you took that move.
That was bad, unless you got long.
Well, if you got long, you're fine.
At that bottom. So there it is, man, live in front of your face right now. Let's go. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Right now, the NASDAQ, look at the NASDAQ right here. The NASDAQ bump city up to 12.9 right now. Look, we're getting excited, but ultimately, we saw Netflix flush down $30.
See, look at Google.
See what I'm saying?
It went 04 to 01 to 08 to 01.
I was just in the middle of saying that we're going to see tomorrow because Netflix flushes down $30 and then opens up flat virtually the very next day. Look at that, 101. I mean, if you can dissect these, good on ya. But there's a nice little move to the downside there for Google. Google right back to 106. Microsoft, like, look at this, 100 bottom, 108 top. That's an $8 move. That's 8% intra move right there. Microsoft Microsoft ain't flushing down anymore. It's funny because I'm giving my kids hell for saying ain't all the time, so that's why I'm saying it now. But there it is. Wow. What is the high here for Microsoft? The high for Microsoft is 293. Looks like we will take that out right now. 290 for Microsoft. We pushing, baby, push. Goes Microsoft back up to the upside. There goes Google. Push, Gregory. Microsoft going back up to the upside. So is Google. Man, as Ice Cube said, today
was a good day.
Was a horrible day, but now a good day.
Okay, that's true.
My earpiece is on.
I have my earpiece on,
yeah,
Fahad.
we never turn them off, my guy. Right there. Are we going to play Prad's beat, or what do you want to play?
You got...
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we hear it. We hear it.
Stop asking us the same question. Yes, we can hear it. All right, nice.
I gotta give Prad his 7 cents.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got
There's a dime for Prad.
Google is 110. We've got the beat. We've got everything. You're paying him a dime. Yeah, you know what? You got to pay creators a little bit more.
You have to.
You know,
we'll give him a little bit extra because we're happy.
So there it is right there. Here comes the drop, someone said. Yeah, well, you might be disappointed. But Google goes up to 110 and stops. Now it's 108 and change.
You want to drop?
Microsoft is at the highs right now, 292 right now for Softy, and that is still going. All right. Wow. Big time movements happening, man. The NASDAQ only down 1% after all said and done, though. But Brendan, anything catching your eye?
70 billion additional buyback for Google as well.
Ooh, not only do they have the biggest buyback on the street, I think they overtook CVX, but right there, that probably overtakes CVX alone.
Which is saying a lot.
Right there, wow. But you know what else that's saying? That they have nothing to do with their money, which I don't really like that.
They really don't.
As a shareholder, I'll take it. I'll give it. But for right now, yeah, I'd rather them buy Fisker or something with their money.
Why Fisker? Oh, never mind.
I own Fisker. But okay, nice move downside. Thanks, Brendan, for that. The buyback is very, very key, as we know. But all right, let's wrap this thing up. What a great day today. People said that we had the best. Yes. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll test that afterwards. Thank you very much, Fahad. We're getting our mics fixed so we can hear everybody.
Yeah, we can't hear Sharif well.
The more that we figure this out, Google back up to 106
apparently
right now. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, yeah, let's go, man. Let's wrap this up. It's 4:06 right now. Thank you very much for watching. So many people said we had our best show ever.
We did
watch
have our
tomorrow.
best show.
Tomorrow's going to be much better. So join us then, 8:30. All of us are here. Neil, Brendan, I'm Sean. Thanks to Sharif today. Thanks to everybody behind us. Thanks to the guys on the desk. Mahad sat there all day, so thank you for that. Thanks, Fahad. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everybody. It's Trader TV Live, and we're back tomorrow. I need a drink. See ya.